Nothing here is black and white. Nothing here is black and
Evening guys, how we doing? Are we doing well? Any regulars in here? Who's in here tonight? Hope everybody's week's going well. Slow start, Jamie. Slow start. Yeah, slow start. I think we got a few lurkers in here, but yeah. You might be the only regular. Always good to see you though, mate. Always good to see you. Hope you've been well. It's been a few weeks actually. What have you been up to, Jamie? You've been working on anything good? Anything interesting? Steve, mate, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. Let's have a look at this squared away. I think we're good. Yeah. It's been, what was it? Yeah, it's been at least 3-4 weeks, something like that. Yeah. Maybe because crap, £1,800 for a flywheel and a clutch for my car. Oof, Jesus. Is it an old car, Jamie? Is it kind of due for a replacement, or is it a car that you can kind of hang on to for a little bit longer? Are you paying free road tax? Is it that old? But yeah, a repair bill for your car is never good. Like coming up to Christmas, mate. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks big time. Hey, do you notice how you're doing clearly a hair stream either? Yeah, it's I just had a shower an hour ago or something like that, so just drying it out in the warmth here. Managed to put the heating on. Managed to succumbed to it, but yeah, it's pretty mild to be fair. Yeah, pretty mild to be fair. If you are new here, let's have a quick look what we got going on. Every couple of weeks, do a live stream, go through your images. So this is a great opportunity to share the work you've been doing, images you've been working on, projects you've been building up, that sort of thing. Yeah, share a shoot we do every Monday on Facebook page, but every couple of weeks typically. I know we skipped last week, but yeah, typically every couple of weeks do a live stream with them. So let me just grab you guys the link if you're interested. Yeah. Come over here. There we go. Yeah. Let's grab the link. Yeah, if you wanted to share an image. Hey Vlad, mate, how you doing? How you doing? It's been I feel like I haven't seen you in the stream recently. Maybe it's just because it's been forever since we had a stream, but yeah, good to see you, mate. What have you been working on, Vlad? You've been shooting much, or is the weather not conducive? I know you do a lot of stuff outside, but yeah. So that link I just popped in the stream there in the stream chat. That takes you to this Facebook page here. As you can see, share a shoot, live stream, and in here we got some images in the comments. Just pop your image in the comments and we can take a look at it later on, go through it, and if there's any any feedback that you want or anything like that, this is a great place to do it. Right. Yeah, I suppose we've been doing this for years, to be fair. It must be 5 or 6 years we've been doing this. Yeah, it's always good to see what people are working on, because everybody's kind of working towards different things, whether it be lighting or getting to grips with colored lighting or studio lighting, or even kind of ambient work here, or long exposures. Typically some long exposure ones in here as well. A bit quieter this week, but it's all good. We've got plenty to cover, so we still got plenty to talk about, but that's fine. Yeah, pop an image in there and we'll take a look. I also wanted to, I think Sterling, who's normally in here, he posted some images last week. It was supposed to be the live stream last week, but didn't, so I just want to have a look at some of his shots. Some of his shots he's been working on are pretty cool, so I want to go back and take a look at those from previous week. Anybody do any Halloween shoots? Does anybody do that sort of thing? Like, I know sometimes I get tons of Halloween shoots in the share a shoot, in other years none at all, so I'm not sure what kind of dictates the ebbs and flows of them, but yeah, I know some people like to do the Halloween, or go to like a Halloween party and get some shots there and that sort of stuff. I don't see any here. There might have been some last week, actually. Was there any last week? Where was it last week? These are the ones last week. Yeah. So this was last week. So it's already in last week's one. There's a couple of good shots last week. Yeah, a couple of Halloween ones last week. Yeah. Okay. Right, what we got going on here? 2012 Astra, mate. Nice. Astra's take 190,000 miles. Apart from this, it hasn't given me much problems. Not in a position to buy a new one. Yeah. I mean, look. You know me and my kit and camera. Like, I will run it. I run my kit into the ground before I replace it. I'm certainly not somebody who's going to be buying a new car every couple of years. Yeah. But I skipped a few. But what was it? Yeah, last one. I've been doing a lot of 3D printing, creating stuff for my gear. Okay, nice, man. Yeah. It feels like I haven't seen you. But then again, we had a gap last week, so that'll probably be it. 3D printing, creating stuff for my gear. What sort of stuff you doing then, Vlad? What sort of? I know you were doing the GoPro frames and that sort of stuff, portrait orientation frames and that sort of thing. Yeah, what sort of stuff are you making? Do you know, I still haven't pulled the trigger on a 3D printer. Is it worth it, Vlad? Is it something that you're like, do you know what? I use it all the time. It's definitely worth it. Or you were like, yeah, no, it's like the novelty kind of wore off. Or is it one of those things that you've got it, so now you start finding uses for it? I think there is several things where, like kit wise, I could definitely see some little pieces that would be super handy, even if it's just like simple stuff like washers that you can't really buy or something like that. Yeah. Sin, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. I did a small themed Halloween shoot. Did you? Is it in the comments, or are you getting me banned again? YouTube still sends me warnings about that image sin. Like, what do you want me what do you want me to do? I thought I removed it. Like, it's just like, this is unacceptable. Okay, it's gone. Okay. Yeah, where is it, Sin? What's going on? If you just joined, the link is up there, Sin, if you need it. Yeah. Joe says, I actually had a shoot on Halloween, but my model got a booster shot on the day before and basically killed her, so we called that one off. Yeah, you remember that with the jabs back in the day? They'd either absolutely floor you or you would be totally fine. And we had 2 here in the UK. I mean, I'm not saying that it was COVID jabs that she had, but I know like the first jab I was totally fine. The second one was just, I was floored for days. Yeah, so it certainly affects people differently. Yeah. Best one was black and white. Was it really though, Sim? Was it really the best one? Was it really? Like, are you sure? The best one? Like, isn't that something you could fix? Like, load one up. Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. Jimmy says the amount of TikToks I've seen of photographers using 3D printed bits and pieces is unreal. That is a better source of information. It's more consistent. That is more consistent. Who is on TikTok here? Jamie, you're on TikTok. Do they allow you on? Aren't you more of a mature gentleman? Do they allow you on there? Like, I thought you had to be a certain age to get on TikTok. I didn't realize anybody could join. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you guys all on there? You're not. Are you? Vlad, you're not on there, are you? Trevor, how you doing, Trevor? The original comment didn't show up on your side, but I did 2 Halloween shoots. I have no idea what triggers those comments not to show up, Trevor, but thank you for persisting. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. And for you, I would say worth it, but for a small 3D printer, I don't think a Mac guy would start learn CAD. Yeah, fair. Yeah, rather print stuff you find online just for if it's not worth. Okay, so Vlad, 3D printer then. What sort of money? Because obviously you can get cheap ones, and look, it's the same with lighting, right? You can get cheap lighting, and you can kind of get the job done. But like, I personally believe that if you spend a little bit more money, you're going to get better quality products. So 3D printer then. What sort of money are you really looking to spend? Like, if I don't want to print anything larger than, I don't know, what, A4? Like, what sort of money are we talking about here? Like, is it thousands or what? Like, what are the sort of money for a what you would recommend spending on a decent one? Stuck a colour one up. Nice one, mate. Love to see it. Let's have a look what we got here. Terry, how you doing, buddy? How you doing? Oh, nice, mate. Nice. Good job. Nice. But look, to be fair to you, Sin, yeah, I can see where you're going with the black and white comment. I could see that crop in a little bit. Maybe get the 5:4 crop in there. Yeah, I could, I see where you're going with that. Yeah. Terry, I've done a few Halloween type shoots, a couple of fake blood, a couple of slime and Harley Quinn too, but barely any gels. Terry, you were the guy at the workshop, right? You mean barely any gels? What are you talking about? Didn't we do it the other day? Or am I talking to a different Terry? Yeah. Danny, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Blood says that's how it seems until you buy one. What did Jamie say? Yeah, the amount of TikToks I've seen on 3D printed pieces is unreal. But yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. 12 TikTok, right, Trevor? Like, they don't let old farts like us on there, mate. Yeah. I'm on TikTok and I keep on getting strikes for my shiz. What? Really, Jamie? You get strikes? What, for your what are you putting on there? Like your normal work, which is like latex and coloured lights and that sort of stuff. Really? You're not even doing any ass cheeks or anything, are you? You're not even doing any thongs and stuff. It's all covered up, like literally all covered up, like no nipples, nothing. How are you getting banned? What? I thought TikTok was bloody Wild West. Yeah. A4 is big, buddy. A1 mini. Wouldn't recommend it, but it's cheap for user friendly. All right, thank you. Okay, A4 is big. I suppose you're right. Yeah, I mean, like you're right. Yeah, A4. I suppose A. Yeah. Okay. A1 mini. All right, have a look. Yeah. Jimmy says I've got new images, but it's latex again, so I'm just gonna look for the time being. You're not gonna share any images, Jamie, mate. You think you know somebody? Come on, just look. There's not many in there. Come on, pad the stats, mate. Get some images in there. I mean, she's outside of that. Yeah, fair enough, Terry. Fair enough, mate. Yeah. As for what I've been working on, all right, okay. Let's have a look. We got Open link, new window. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, nice, man. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely. 100%. That's great, man. That's awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm sold. Exactly. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah. This is the sort of nerd shit that we end up getting. Yeah. Oh, smooth, Vlad. Smooth. Good job. Yeah. That's perfect, man. That's perfect. Yeah. Does it cost a lot extra for the coloured ink? I do ink. I'm calling it ink, like a 3D material, or is it pretty much the same price? Yeah. I like this, man. This is good. This is good. You know what's crazy is I spent like 20 years using Flash in the studio, and as I'm sure you can imagine, like the old school Flash was cables everywhere and that sort of stuff. I'd literally just a couple of years had the Bowens XMTs, which is like the battery powered strobes. So good, phenomenal flashes. And then had them for a couple of years, and then I've now pretty much moved over solely to LEDs, and it's pretty much all back to cables again. It's yeah, pain in the ass. Which is, I just find it weird. I mean, I guess I could hook up a bunch of packs and that sort of stuff for them, but because they're continuous, they chug through the batteries, so it's just kind of easier, and you have more peace of mind on a longer shoot if they're plugged in. Like the batteries of a Flash, they just last for days, like multiple days, just because it's just popping. But yeah, it's kind of ironic. So now back to dealing with cables again. Yeah. TikToks are my work you've seen. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they get you for anything suggestive. That's crazy. There you go. I mean, it shows how much I know. I mean, like I said, I'm not on TikTok, but yeah, my impressions of TikTok, it was like the Wild West of what you can get away with. I'm really surprised to see your sort of stuff getting banned. Yeah. Danny says, post a Halloween image on your page. A nice one, Danny. Let's have a look. Give this a quick refresh. We'll go through these later on. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Anyway, I won't look at these yet. Nice, man. Oof, jealous. Yeah. You're pretty high here, Vlad, right? How many meters or feet are you up here? Yeah. And how high is your town above sea level anyway? Is it pretty low to begin with, or are you already up in the Transylvanian mountains? Jake gets a 3D printer. I'll ask him to print those power brick light stand holders from Vlad. Which ones? The power brick? Oh yeah, that's right, for holding the the dangling thing. That's 100%. You're right. Yeah, I should get one, Jimmy. You're right. Yeah, plastic is the same price regardless of color. Okay. Yeah. Also, what you see there is the black plastic, and the orange plastic is AI editing. Really? Okay. You could just get some Velcro, $5 would get much. I know. No, I know. You're right, mate. You're right. Yeah. It's only even close to Velcro. Whole new world, better print, grab the model and to the side to pattern the selling. Man, nice. Check out Americans to get on TikTok. Live in the now, man. Yeah, that's true. That is true. We had a couple of. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this. This has been the same for years, but like this happened like 5 years ago. I think 5 years ago I did my first workshop where I was the only DSLR shooter there. But obviously the workshops we had a couple of weeks ago, everybody was mirrorless there. I mean, it's not even a question anymore, right? Yeah. But yeah. All right. So just give this a quick refresh to see where we go. Let's see if Danny put his image in there. Right. Oh, Terry, nice one, Terry. Appreciate you grabbing one in there. It's good. Sin's got one in there. Trevor, we saw this one last week. Trevor, yes, it's a good one though, man. It's good. Yeah, I always appreciate you popping it in there though. Danny, oh nice, Danny. Okay, a bit of colour. Love to see that. Good stuff. All right. Cool. I think Lizzie was saying that she can't make it tonight, so she's just posting a selfie. Okay, so what are we doing? So, like I said, we'll share a shoot later on. We'll go through some bits and bobs in the news. I have been flat out, hence why we haven't done live stream for 3 or 4 weeks, but I've been super busy, so I certainly haven't been following the news. But that said, you guys have been keeping me pretty well informed, so I certainly and always appreciate that. You sending me emails with links and that sort of stuff, that's coming out. I know a bunch of you on Instagram, Vlad, Jamie, usual suspects, are always sending me links of stuff that's going out. So look, I certainly appreciate that, because I can't catch everything. Biggest things obviously we're going to talk about is Adobe, right, and some of the changes and the improvements that they've made to their latest installments with Photoshop and Lightroom. Obviously we're going to talk about Affinity and what's going on there, Canva, and what the waves that they're making. We'll have a chat about that. No real products that I'm aware of. Like I said, I didn't really see them. It's probably enough to talk about with Adobe. But if anybody saw any products in the last 2 or 3 weeks that were like, Jake, this is pretty cool, you should definitely check this out. I saw a couple of rumors for cameras and that sort of stuff, but nothing crazy. Well, yeah, if you saw anything, then let me know and we can pull it up. And then what we'll do after we've gone through a little bits of the news, I want to kind of talk through. I had a hair campaign last week. I kind of want to just talk through the process really from start to finish, including dealing with the initial client and then prepping for the shoot and then shoot day and that sort of stuff. And we'll go through some BTS of that and look at some shots as well. Just because I don't know, I think it's interesting to kind of see the reality of a shoot sometimes. It's all very cool, it's like all very well to see a lighting diagram, but I think for those of you kind of interested in the full process rather than just the 7-minute YouTube video, we can go through that, and if there's any questions you guys have got, then I can certainly answer them as we go, and then we'll do the share shoot after that. Okay. Right then, let's have a look. Let's bring this up here. I'm just gonna bring this across. Make sure we can actually see this. Bring that up. Okay, let me see anything here. Probably 50 meters above the town. Really? No way, man. That looks a lot higher than 50 meters above the town. That's hilarious. Not sure what I posted. Yeah, no worries, Trevor. All good, yeah. I paid for a 3D print of the Rotolite of the Rotolite Bowens mount. I paid for a 3D printing of the Rotolite Bowens mount. What do you think, Sin? You think it's possible, like on the Neos, the little like the little Neos? You think it's possible to kind of get an attachment on there? I wonder. I could see it, I could see it. Cause you got some, you got several screw points there, like three screw points. I could see it potentially. And then what? How big is an S fit on top of that? This is just a Speedlight mount from Godox, so Speedlight to S-Fit. I mean, the S-Fit's actually bigger than I thought, really. Obviously, it would need to be the other way around, but yeah. I could see potential for it, Sin. I really could. I think, yeah. I mean, it depends how kind of cack-handed you want to go with it, but you could certainly use these mount points on here with that. Just have a thinner version of that, knock that all back. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah. You never know. There might even be one out there, right? I posted a different one from the same shoot. Oh, I got you. Yeah, no worries, buddy. Yeah, okay, that's all good. Yeah. Why do you need a mirrorless for TikTok to show screen while shooting? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can actually flip it up and see what you're doing. Yeah. Affinity Photo has now gone free It's nuts, and yeah, we'll definitely talk about that in a second. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, that kind of came from nowhere. Yeah, wait for the Sony to announce its successor to the FX3 because it's video for me next. So are you being asked for more video, Jamie? I mean, I got a shoot on the 14th, a big shoot on the 14th, and they were like, yeah, we need reels. Do you really need reels as well? Like, shit, man. I mean, I'm actually tempted to maybe shoot it on the iPhone because it's either that or the D850. Video on the D850. I mean, it could well look better on the iPhone. Yeah. Issue I'm just referring to is comment about strobes, cables. Yeah, true. Yeah. They sold a mount, which meant you can connect a Bowens Fit modifier to the AOS 2 Pro Neo, but they don't sell them anymore, although deceptively still have them on their website. Yeah, okay. Look, I mean, this is totally off the record, and forget it as soon as you heard it. But talking to the guys there recently, look, they are planning on developing something new. So it's not just selling through old stock. They are actually looking at creating something new. Which, look, I mean, I had no idea what they were doing. I was the last to know that Rhodolite went into administration or whatever it was. So I was the last to know. So look, I was kind of very, very, very happy to hear that they were thinking about doing that. But they are making new stuff all the time. So they aren't just selling through old stock. Yeah. Video on iPhone is better. It probably is, Vlad. It probably is. I just got to have the balls to stand up in this commercial shoot with my iPhone. Yeah. Video is just the next form of evolution for me. Yeah. Been sold out for about a year. Okay. Yeah, I presume they just didn't sell particularly well, Sin. So maybe that's like they're not bothering. But do you know what? I might. I'll ask them for you, Sin. Yeah, I'll see if they will or if there are any somewhere, because you know what these places are like. They've just got a box of them probably somewhere in a warehouse or something like that hasn't been used. I find it hard to believe they've sold every single one, okay. So yeah, quick catch up. Last time we spoke, we hadn't done the Color 2.0 workshops, which was both of the events that I had sold out, which was absolutely awesome news. Over the moon to see that, because it's been a few years since I've done workshops, right, with COVID and that sort of stuff, and I've just been busy with online education and one thing or another. So plus I was writing this new course. I kind of wanted to come back with this new course, the Color 2.0 course. So it was good to see people keen. And look, we have people coming in from all over the world for these, which is wild. US, Canada. Guy on Saturday came across on the tunnel from France, Germany. Yeah, obviously I did a color 2.0 for a guy from Switzerland a couple of weeks before that as well. So yeah, like it's been really well received. We had great groups of people both times. Got tons done. Yeah, really good, and loads of fantastic testimonials from everybody that was there. People really kind of blown away by some of the ideas and knowledge and aha moments and that sort of stuff. So yeah, thank you to everybody that sent me a testimonial. So we'll probably looking again in the new year for workshops, and I'll probably be bringing back some of the more popular workshops from years ago as well, like the creatively simple lighting one, which is more about controlling the softer washes of color as opposed to the saturated ones. Maybe we'll do a projector one as well, just because I still it's been years since I've done that projector one, and it's still people, it's so slept on. It's crazy, some of the shots you can get, and I'm still not seeing people doing anything particularly crazy with projectors yet. So I think that one will be a good one to bring back. Probably looking at March next year. So if you're interested, keep an eye out, and I'll try and get the. There you go. You can sign up to that if you're interested, and you'll be the first to know. Over there, and we can get you on the list for next year. But yeah, amazing they sold out. Absolutely fantastic. And maybe we can get a few more Brits to get off their asses next year as well. I'm only saying that just because I had like messages from people from like Milton Keynes, and they were like, which is like an hour away or something like that. They were just like, when are you going to do one near me? It's just like, you realise I got somebody sat here from British Columbia, right? And you won't travel an hour down the road. So we are bad in this country for travelling, really, really bad. Whereas I know lots of other, nations don't have anything right next to them, so they're more than willing to travel. But yeah, weird. But yeah, so we'll do that. Have a look at that again in the new year. Yeah. Richard says, I looked at the MagMod adapter for 2 speed lights to adapt in the O3. Looked around the same size. Oh, really? Okay. A MagMod adapter for 2 speed lights to adapt to. Really? Is that a thing? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I've never seen that before. Clever. So you just put the speed lights in there. look at this. I forget what one that is, but the circular one. Yeah, some of these wider ones. Maybe interesting. Okay. Yeah. Good shout, man. Good shout. Yeah. MagMod offers an official Godox mount modifier. The Godox, which you may be calling the O3. How dare you? How dare you, AI? Assume that I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so freaking jealous people got to attend. Yeah, I know, Jeff. It was good, man. It was good. Yeah, we got loads done. So many great shots as well. The models were phenomenal as well. Yeah, but yeah, hopefully next time. Yeah, my car wasn't knackered. It was just gonna rock up on the first fill up. It did. I could see you doing that as well, Jimmy. Yeah, March should be great. Do you have a date in mind? I know, Danny. Yeah, I know. The reason I'm putting it back in March is because you're not alone. I know a couple people said from abroad, they were saying, look, if I could get a couple of months' notice, then yeah, that'd be awesome for booking flights and that sort of thing. So yeah, look, Danny, appreciate that. It's going to be on a Saturday, so I will try and see what we can do. Isn't March the photo show as well, guys? My English friends. I need to make sure I avoid the photo show weekend. But yeah, I will look at that, Danny. Yeah, I will look at it. Yeah. Okay then. So I think there's nothing else. Yeah. Okay. So we had a bunch of announcements from Adobe with updates to Lightroom, new Lightroom Classic, and Photoshop. So first off, I just want to kind of look at Lightroom Classic because they've added AI assisted culling. Now, several of you sent me links to that and so on and so forth. Kind of came across Flern here, Mr. Aaron Nace, absolute legend. Known him for a long time, and he really knows his stuff. So if you want an in-depth look at this, then by all means check this out. Now he's kindly given us some files that we can kind of have a look at and play with. So if you're interested in seeing what Aaron Nace got to say about that, but yeah, so he's given us some files that we can have a look at. So let's scoot over to Lightroom and see what this AI assisted culling is doing here. So make sure you're updated, and then as soon as you come over here to import, and then we want to come over, I'm just going to use the files that he's given us, like these ones here, right? So this is the import, right? So we're not importing them, but what this is, up here we have the option with this, up here, assisted culling, right? So these technically it could be on the camera or on a flash card, whatever. So you haven't brought them in yet. And then over here on the left are going to be our kind of options for the images, right? So those of you who are not aware of what this has kind of been a thing for a while. There's been tons of AI software models that have been out there. What Evoto I think does it. What Aftershoot does it. I think Retouch for Me might even do it. Like there's been tons of kind of standalone pieces of software that do AI culling. So like if you shot a wedding, you've got like 5,000, 10,000 images, right? It's just like, oh, you know, a lot of images. What am I going to do? This will kind of help you to like maybe get rid of the ones where like the flash, like speed light didn't go off, or maybe the eyes were closed or something like that, right? Or it wasn't in focus. So this will kind of give you a little bit of a head start, and it seems that the Lightroom one here seems pretty varied with some of the options that you can do with regards to selecting focus, eyes, and lots of things like that. And it seems to have some adjustability as well. The one thing that's cool about this is it's on the import, right? So you don't have to bring in 7,000 images. You could probably knock away 500 to 1,000 images before you even bring them into Lightroom by using this. So this is kind of cool, right? So okay, so at the moment we've got everything selected. So up here we can go select subject focus, right? So pretty standard. Let's see, does this change at all? Just trying to see if it, yeah. All about eyes open. Can we turn that on? Do we have to turn them all off first? Uncheck all. How does it work then? Reject photos of people's eyes. Okay, let's have a look. Smart previews. Don't import rejected images. I thought it was going to rejects. Oh, here we go. Okay, selects. Let's go to these selects here. Let's go back then. Eyes open. So subject focus. So these are the rejects. Okay, so it's already gone and given us those, which is some of them down here. So not in focus. So it looks like. Let's just have a look at some of these a minute. So this is classed as a reject. It's a little bit soft. Yeah, a little bit soft. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what's interesting about this is it has this slider here. So, you know, look, me on my DSLR or something like that, I'll be like, you know, most of these will probably get flagged, right? So you can kind of dial this back so that you're like, yeah, they have to be 100%. They have to be like razor sharp, right? So. Interesting. So you can see the green arrows here. So you can see if we go look, they have to be absolutely 100% like sharp, no hesitation. So it's actually got rid of all of them apart from 2 files here. Super strict. Interesting. Now remember, we're looking at the JPEG, so this is probably a little bit cruel to. Yeah. It's pretty sensitive. It's not just me. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so and then conversely, you can go, yeah. Do you know what? We're shooting on the DSLR. We want to be a little bit more selective. Like, you know, if it's a little bit soft, we're fine with it. So you can dial it down, and you can see down here, they've gone like from being yep, nope to being, you know what, a little bit soft is probably okay. So that's kind of cool because like before, some of these that I've looked at, it's just like it's either in focus or it's not. You know, I'm going to get this variation. So I do kind of like the fact that it's got this slider here, which is cool, right? So eye focus. So again, really going to be looking at just the eye focus. And again, it can be just the sharp ones or not. So same kind of slider. Reject photos without people's eyes. Okay, so if for some reason you took a shot and everybody was facing the wrong way, you could just like we don't need those, right? So reject if you're taking pictures of receipts and that sort of stuff. So misfires, which would probably be like black frames, right, where the flash didn't go off, makes sense. Exposure issues, so sometimes maybe start of a setup, you'd be like taking a bunch of shots, or like not maybe a bunch, but like two or three shots to kind of get the exposure dialed in, right? So you could go, you know what, like the first shot. In fact, when I opened up Lightroom again, you saw like the first shot was blown out. So yeah, so you can do that. Yeah, okay. So what's this one then? Is this eyes closed? Eye focus, eyes closed, eyes open. Reject all photos of people's eyes. Can't tell. Okay. Let me just take these off, man. I'm just curious about these eyes, this eye open thing. How is it doing the eyes open thing? Okay, so it's got some up here. Eyes closed, eyes closed, eyes closed. Okay, so, okay, yeah, all right. So let's have a look. So it is seeing them then. Yeah. Okay. So this is where it gets a bit hazy for me, right? Like, you could arguably say that all of those images there were, she was intentionally got her eyes closed, right? Now, look, up to you, right? And you can go, you know what, this is fine. You know, we can keep it, but yeah, huh. Okay. I probably wouldn't use that eyes open one. I suppose if you're at a wedding, you're not going to be doing any dreamy looking at them, looking at the stars shot. So, yeah, you could probably use that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, capture time. So this is actually a really good feature, right? Now this is not going to work here because of, I think it's seeing the time that I downloaded the files or whatever it is, so just basically put them all into one group. But essentially what this would do is, like, if you were doing a shoot or a set or something, or even like you're doing corporate headshots, right? You could be photographing 10 people from the office or something like that. You'd probably take, a burst of images of somebody, and then somebody would go, and then you'd wait for somebody else to come down, and they come in, and then there'd probably be a few minutes at least, maybe 5 to 10 minutes in between each person. So you can dictate the time between stacks. So it's quite easy to go, boom, here we go, let's have a look, let's see what's in this stack. So you can break it down on that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Visually similar. So this is an interesting one. So this is going to go, and it's going to go, like, if we just turn this off a second. So we got the, like, walking around in the field here, right? So visually similar. So boom, straight away, these ones just kind of get put together as being the same. So same kind of half body crop, green leaves in the background. Right, so we can go more similar, interesting, or less similar. Okay, interesting. Okay, so you can really dial that in as well for the different types of shoots. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so you can really get the different types of things in, and then click it. All right, yeah. Interesting. Okay. It turns them off. Okay, and then once you're happy with that, you can just kind of import them all. Working out on a score basis over here. So they've given images a certain score. Okay, based on some of these parameters. Okay, so when you click on it, you guys can't see it because my camera's in the way. But yeah, so up in the top right here, you've got a score. So you click on it and go, this is like 98. So this is definitely kind of a keeper based on the aspects that you've put here. Interesting, that gives it a score. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's cool, right? Most of us kind of already using Lightroom. Who in here is using Lightroom and who is using Capture One? If you're using something else, then let me know. I'd be curious. But yeah, I do come across people who use Capture One commercially a lot for tethering, right? That's usually the reason they give, I use Capture One all the time because I tether, and that's usually the reason. But for those of you who are not tethering, what are you using? Are you using Lightroom or are you using Capture One? I think the other thing is cost as well, right? So if you're already paying for the Photoshop model, Creative Cloud model, then you kind of get Lightroom in there, and it's like, do I really need to pay for Capture One at the same time? I may as well just use Lightroom. A long time ago in the studio, I used to use Capture One, and in the studio, and it was fine. I just found it a bit clunky. So in my personal work, I've always used Lightroom. It's just been easy, and I think like the ecosystem being Photoshop and Lightroom, it was just pretty easy to slide over. But Capture One is still excellent, of course. Trevor says you can So Trevor, are you using Affinity Photo to import images? Can you do that in Affinity? Does it have an ability to do that? It's like, I suppose Photoshop Camera Raw, you can import images in there as well. So Affinity has a way to do that. It's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Richard says photography show is 14th, 17th March. Nice one, Richard. Okay, appreciate that, mate. Okay. So we could do it. Yeah, we could do it after that. Okay. Yeah. Terry says, I wonder if mist filters and shutter drag would get flagged. Yeah. I wonder. Yeah. I wonder if it. That's a good question, Terry. Yeah, I mean, shutter drags would definitely get flagged, right? But mist filter may be okay. Yeah. Vlad says this tool is perfect for all those people who shoot 5 shots every time they press the button. That is a good point, Vlad. And you may well be being facetious there, but I think you're being true as well. In the there are people who shoot burst frames. That's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point actually. And I certainly come across people who shoot like that. I could see that. Yeah. Reject photos without people's eyes. That's probably a Halloween option. Oh, nice. Yeah. Looks like Adobe are trying to play catch up on all the other apps that might threaten their market dominance. Oh, Sin, 100%, man. 100%. Absolutely. And this is why the other apps were pushing so hard, right? The Evotos and the Aftershoots and all the other ones that I've mentioned, scores and scores of them, right? I mean, it's just, there must have been at least 8, right? And a bunch of them were, getting in touch with me and pushing really, really hard because they knew, like you just said, right? They got this window. They got this window to get people on board before Adobe comes out and goes, like you say, playing catch up and adding those features. Now, I will say that the features that they've added there, I've had a look at some of the AI culling features in some of the other apps in the past. I will say that what Lightroom is adding there does seem to be pretty good, right? I haven't used it. I don't know how accurate it is. But it does seem that the options and the variables that they have seem to be more detailed than a lot of the other ones that I've seen. Yeah. Richard uses Capture One. Richard, are you using Capture One just in general, or you're like, you know what? Yeah, I like to shoot tethered, and Capture One is kind of a no-brainer for that. Darktable. God, I haven't heard that in a while. Jeez, man, that's nuts. Yeah. No tether for Affinity. Okay, Trevor. Okay, yeah. I mean. Yeah, not a ton of people use tethering really, but yeah, Lightroom because I'm not paying Capture One too. Exactly, Terry. Right, that's it. And that was kind of I think the mentality for a lot of people. If I'm already paying for the Creative Cloud, I don't think you can buy a Photoshop subscription without Lightroom. So, I mean, I could be wrong. They might have changed that, but I know in the past it used to be a creative subscription or whatever it was, and you got Lightroom in it. So yeah, I mean, if you're already getting it in there, you're not going to pay for Capture One as well. Sin says Capture One already started a color assist in there. I didn't know that. Yeah, Lightroom is good for tethering now these days too. Yeah, okay. So Capture One already had the culling. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Steve says Lightroom Classic. Yeah, same. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I might have missed it. No, I mean, I can't see that Affinity would have it, Trevor. Yeah. Do all my culling manually. Okay, so. Right, this is the $1 million question then, right? Who of you would ever use AI culling? And if your answer is yes, is it because you shoot a lot of images at a wedding or something like that? I would never ever use it for the type of work that I do, and I think, I think a lot of that comes down to a sort of expression or emotion or type of shot, type of energy in a shot that I would definitely keep, that I know AI culling wouldn't keep. And in fact, there's a couple here that we can look at in a minute that I really like that no AI culling would keep in. And we're shooting with LEDs now, and this is a little bit of movement with LEDs. In fact, any of you Peter Coulson fans, did you see Peter Coulson put out a video, I think today, where he was using the Nanlite Pavo panels or whatever they are? Like he was using 2 of the clamshell LED panels with his Hasselblad there, and he was shooting at I think he was shooting at 250th of a second, right? And think it was like ISO 400. Yes, he's on his Hasselblad, but you know, he's shooting ISO 400 on that thing and 250th, and he was saying, look, he's got a huge fan in the hair and that sort of stuff, and you know, even he was going, look, I don't mind a bit of movement, and you know, I'm okay with a little bit of movement, a little bit of, I can't remember his exact phrasing, but he was like, you know, I'm fine with a little bit of energy in the shot. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't follow Peter Coulson particularly closely, but I think he mainly shoots flash. I think he's just been playing around with these LEDs. So yeah, look, you know, there's going to be motion in those shots from LED, right? Even at 250th of a second. I mean, I shoot my LEDs at 125th typically, but even at 250th, there was definitely movement in the hair. So would it start skipping out on some of these? And you know, all of those eyes closed shots, I would have kept all of them, right? I mean, whether it would have made it to the printer is a different story, but like they were intentionally eyes closed. So yeah, I wouldn't, but yeah, would you guys? Yeah. Since they're adding assisted culling, masking, and composite framing assistance now. Adding assisted culling, masking, and compositional framing assistance now. Is that in Capture One? Really? Yeah. They led culling. Did they, Sin? Really? Well, they had the AI culling in Capture One. Like they were one of the first people. That's nuts. Yeah. Richard says tethered and in general have affinity. Tethered and in general. Okay. Have affinity. Used to use all Adobe Creative Suite, but dropped Adobe. Okay. Yeah. When did you switch over, Richard, to Affinity? Yeah. Sorry, I just got lost there. Trevor says, I wouldn't use it, but I don't shoot much as I'm a hobbyist. And part of the process for me, no fun. Yeah, okay. And yeah, look, I'm not saying that it's not good. Like, you know, if I was shooting a wedding and, you know, like, I mean, if there's any wedding shooters in here, then you tell me how many shots are you taking at a wedding? Like, 5,000, 10,000? Like, it quite easily could be 10,000 if you're doing speeches and that sort of stuff. And like somebody said, you're shooting burst, you know, doing speeches, you know, because you're shooting, you don't want to get them halfway through, halfway through a word or something like that. So look, I can totally see how somebody could come back with 10,000 images from a wedding, and this would be a very easy kind of just get rid of the worst of the worst off the rip. And it's probably going to take away, I mean, even if it took away 10-15% of the images straight away, like that's 1,000 less images you have to go through, right? So yeah, look, I mean, if I was a wedding shooter, I would definitely be testing that out for sure. Yeah. So Terry says, yeah, I'd only consider it for an event with like 2,000 photos. Yeah, exactly, right. You got an event, and like I said, speeches, like I would absolutely be using burst mode for somebody talking, and yeah, you know, if it could pick the best one out of somebody speaking, that'd be interesting. Yeah, if you got like 10 images of somebody talking, I wonder how well it would do with that. Yeah. I would use it, but then look carefully at the rejects just to make sure it didn't reject something I like. So, Sin, that is the problem, right? And I'm there with you, 100%. That is the problem, because it just negates the whole point, right? Because you're just going to go through it anyway. So that's what I mean about these rejects. You can go through and you can check the rejects. So why are we bothering to do it then? Like, if you can't trust the tool, I think if you're going to do it, you're going to have to trust the tool. Otherwise, it's just adding an extra step for no reason, right? Because look, I'm with you, Sin. I would be 100%. Like, I'd be checking the rejects. You know, oh no, that image of her eyes shut looks really good. Well, so it's kind of a pointless process. So I think if you are somebody who's going to be using it, you just got to go in both feet and go boom, job done, and move on. And look, I've got 9,000 other images. I'm sure I've got plenty good ones here, or whatever you were going to do. But yeah, I agree. There's no way I'm not double checking its work, right? Yeah. Rarely do they do them so irrelevant for me. Okay, like the events and stuff. Yeah. Regis says Capture One has a type of AI in that it splits into groups. Okay. Interesting. Did a Halloween shoot last week, and one of my faves was overexposed, but I used it to creative effect. I know, man. I know, and that's the thing, right? All those happy accidents, right? And there are absolutely happy. I've got shots from the hair shoot last week, which are happy accidents, right? Where she's moving mid pose, like, you know, so it's like a between pose. Really cool, like really cool, like, you know, and it's just like that. I really liked it, you know. But happy accidents, it kind of gets rid of them. Yeah. Damn, I need to check Capture One, coming for the day job. Yeah, I didn't know it did it. Yeah, so thank you, Sin and Richard and those for letting me know. I had no idea Capture One was doing it. Yeah. Sin, they have an AI crop tool. Really? You pick a crop and it will automatically crop similar images like the crop you pick. Okay, that's cool. I can see that being actually useful, right? I mean, even a family shoot, right? You just boom, you want to crop out the floor, and you know, you got 10 images. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Tried Capture One a couple of years ago, Richard says, and could do things quicker and easier than I did in Photoshop and Lightroom. Okay, I find it very intuitive. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I was the opposite, man. When I used it in the studio, it just felt like there was a couple of extra steps for things. So yeah, I just kind of went back to Lightroom in the end. Yeah, I'll normally shoot about 800 frames in a day shoot. Culling takes up so much time. Helping hand would definitely save a fair bit of time. Okay. So you're going to use it, Sin. Okay, but you said that you're also going to double check it. So, I mean, okay, maybe you double check it like for 3 or 4 shoots, right? And you get kind of a feel for it, and maybe you just ease off on some of the settings. And to be fair, well, you know, maybe you've done it, like I said, you've done it 3 or 4 times. Maybe you get to a point where you're like, I'm happy for it to do its thing now. I'm confident that it's not going to get rid of anything that I want. So yeah. Give it that time to learn your style, as it were. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, mixed bag in here. It's not it's not the slam dunk that maybe I was thinking you guys were going to call it. Dog's just about to bark. I'm just trying to stop him. So, but look, options there. If we're already paying for Lightroom, then cool. Yeah, job done. So Photoshop then. Photoshop. Who has updated their Photoshop? Who's been using any of the new tools, right? So if you're kind of out of the loop as to what's happened, Photoshop had a big release, which is their 2026 release, and I downloaded it for you guys, right? You know me. I'm usually the last person to update anything, but you know, I did it for you guys. Now what they're doing is they are bringing in other AI models into Photoshop now that we can then use, because Firefly is the Adobe one, and they're giving us some other options now, right? So let's go over here to Photoshop. Let's see, we got just a regular JPEG I can just open up here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. One of these will be fine, right? I just want to see one that wasn't. That was a bit rough around the edges. Fine, I can do. Okay. So what do we got then? So up here we've got the usual suspects, right? And bring it over here, you guys can see it. Yeah, so over here we've got the usual suspects, right? Which is kind of using the AI models to select the subject, and boom, job done, right? Easy enough. Okay, so that's, you know, that kind of panel has always been there. And what if we come in here and start adding a selection? So now we've got the ability for this generative fill, right? Now we can either start to use some of these, or there's some other options as well that we can look at. Let's see. So we've got generative fill, remove, nothing crazy. All right, okay. What can I? We've also got generative upscale as well, which is kind of interesting. So they've added the ability to upscale the image in here. what was the other ones they added? Got AI denoise, AI sharpen. Again, using third party pieces of software in there as well. So yeah, they've certainly got some a bunch of new, basically third party options that are coming in there, right? The generative fill. Let's see. So if we click on the generative fill thing here, right, we now have a drop down. So Firefly is the Photoshop one. They've got previous releases here. We also have Gemini, which is the Nano Banana from Google, right? And then we have the Flux. So here it says, you've got a little crown here, if you guys can see that, and it's got models created by others. Okay, so what that's really saying there then, and then if you click on that, it basically opens up this. So partner models in Photoshop, right? And it opens up the options here and gives you different breakdowns of what it's doing and that sort of thing. So what's the difference here? Well, some could say that the banana one from Google is arguably superior to the Adobe Firefly, and that's purely because of the model that Google is using. Is just massive, right? It's just almost infinite data compared to Adobe's small little puddle of images that it was using, that it bought from stock libraries years ago, and it's kind of building off of that. So the argument here is that the Nano Banana is going to be more powerful. So what are the downsides then? It's like, why would I ever use Firefly? Well, the downsides are that if you use these other models, it's going to cost you more credits, right? More Adobe credits or Creative Cloud credits and that sort of stuff. So here we go, right? So it starts to get pretty pricey, right? So it starts to get pretty pricey. So generative credit uses for image models. So if we were in Photoshop and what do we wanted? Like, we wanted boom, flower, right? And we create that. So that's going to cost me one credit that we get. Now, your kind of model that you have, your whatever you're paying for, the size of the plan that you're on, you're going to get different amounts of credits, which we can look at there. So this is the Firefly one, boom, right? Simple enough, yeah. So it's just kind of curious. Let's see if we were to do the same thing again. So generative fill, and let's say same thing again. And then let's use old nano there. Now I'm doing obviously whatever I'm doing here is super basic. I'm not really asking it to do anything crazy, but we will get different results. But that's going to cost me a lot more. So the Firefly is going to cost me 1 credit, and then to just click this once, I think it's going to cost 10 credits. So you only get one variation here. So yeah. So look, in this instance, right, Adobe is absolutely slaying. So that now look, if you wanted to do something more specific, and Nano Banana is used for like turning people around, right? So like if we go, can we? How does it work? I've never used this. Can we see? What image from above? Portrait from above. Yeah, portrait from above, and what in front? Like 45 degrees? How I have no idea how accurate you need to be from above 45 degrees. Model looking up. I've never tried this, so let's see. Banana generate. I'm just kind of curious. So what's this doing that? Let's come over here then. Let's see what we got. So we got our. So if you ever want to find out like your credits and that sort of stuff, you just come over to your Creative Cloud, and then you just covering the screen here, but yeah, you open up Creative Cloud, and then you just click on Manage Account, right? And then come over here, and then it'll show you, I think. Yeah, I really don't want to open up a completely different system. Let's see. Boom. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, so I'm shredding through the credits just by doing this, but they update in a few days anyway, so that's fine. So on my account, we got 250 credits, and each one of those fireflies is, I think you're probably looking at about 10 credits, I think, right, for a still image, versus the Google one, banana one, is 10 credits versus the firefly, which is 1 credit, right? So that's really how the business model has changed. And look, I think if you're not using AI tools, like I'm not, then I don't have to pay for it. I think this is a good thing. I mean, I'm usually misinformed on a lot of these things, so if anybody's got a counter to that, I'd love to hear it. But it seems like they're giving you, look, if you don't use it, you don't have to pay any extra, right? But some of these costs are pricey, right? Look at this, GB 60 credits, and obviously with the video, it starts to get pretty wild. Yeah. Let's have a look. Did this do anything? Okay, so it didn't do it, but what the? Okay, I mean, look, I tried once, right? I tried once, yeah. He's fucking wild though, man, right? You can literally just have a look at the camera. That's crazy, man. What else have we got here? Let's see, yeah, see if let's have a look. Model looking towards camera. Google. Oh, it sets it by default. So once you click on it, make sure you click off it afterwards. Otherwise, you'll be stung every single time. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what that's doing. So every I don't know how long it takes to update. I think it takes a few minutes to update the. Your complement generations for this premium feature have been used. To keep using this feature, upgrade to the plan with premium feature access. Okay. So interesting. Right. Okay. So let's see. Then. Hopefully it's not going to show all my details. Okay. So I thought it was just going to use the credits you had. Okay. So there you go. So to add credits. So £30 a month, you get 7,000 credits. Or you do the... well, you can't. It's just that one. Or you can't select it. I was just saying most popular, so it just goes. Okay. If you cancel more than 14 days after your paid subscription begins, your payment is non-refundable and your service will be continued to be... Okay, I need to look into that, yeah. Okay. So it's not just a case of using the credits you have. Interesting. Okay. I think I used that like once beforehand, before I went live. I was just like, let's just see it. Yeah, so they give you, 2 free credits before it absolutely just stings you. Interesting. Okay. So 2,000 credits. Yeah, if you're using it, yeah, I mean, 10 credits a pop. It depends how often you were using it. So what's that, 200 pulls. Okay. So that's just credits though. So that's nothing to do with yours. So that's on top of your Adobe subscription. Ways to use your credits on premium features generate up to 25-second videos. Translate up to 6 minutes of audio. Generate industry feeling. Okay. I know. Look, guys. I need to look into that. But like, it's not something that I'll be using. So I certainly won't be paying for it. But yeah. Okay. They really get you on that. Yeah. Okay, so what am I get here? Let's have a look. Capture on some of these. So Sin says Firefly and the AI model is a shit show, in my honest opinion. Yeah, I mean, because you're somebody who has spent a little bit of time with Midjourney, right, Sin? So you're kind of looking at multiple sides of the coin here. Somebody like me, I have kind of opened up Midjourney and had a little bit of a play, but I certainly didn't spend a ton of time in it. But yeah, it just doesn't have the sheer volume of data that the other AI models have. So yeah, I would kind of agree with you that if you wanted to do anything kind of like pretty like heavy lifting wise, I think Firefly does struggle. Yeah. Selections are good though. Yeah, the fact that you have grain on this image is going to mess up the AI big time. Is that right, Vlad? Does that mess it up? Really? What was it like? Did it get rid of the grain? Yeah, did that get rid of the grain? Oh, it's kind of a weird, interesting. Yeah, it's given like a canvas effect. Interesting. Okay. That is wild though, man. That is crazy. Obviously, because AI culling may have got rid of this image, so we didn't keep it. Because she wasn't looking straight down the barrel of the lens. So now we can recreate that image using AI because the AI culling software removed it a moment ago. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Can we get back to this, please? Yeah. I would legit pay for all this to go away. Shouldn't there be variations like a blog? Hey, look, man. Yeah, I agree with you. I was kind of surprised there wasn't a variation on that, right? Or is it just because I'm on the just because I was having a free go at it? I ran out of options. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was the free one. Yeah. Skin data is intact. Depends what you mean by intact, Terry. Yeah, I would say that. Yes, I think. Look for Instagram, absolutely fine, right? I think for Instagram it's absolutely fine. That's gonna struggle. Yeah, that's gonna struggle. I'd be kind of curious as to how it coped at like high resolutions, right? Because this is just a JPEG. It's like a 2,000 pixel JPEG, so I'd be interested to see how it copes at high resolutions. Yeah. Since there's about the model will be annoyed if they created an image without her participation. It's. Yeah, Sin. I think this is the issue that we have with it right now. It's just the Wild West with it. It's like, well, because it used to be copyright was a certain percentage of the image has to be original for it to be not infringing on copyright, and this kind of throws a spanner in like the works of all of this. And there's no legislation on any of this at the moment, and it needed to happen 5 years ago, but it'll probably be another 5 years before they sort it out. So yeah, I agree with you. Like, yeah, I mean, not good, man. Yeah. Who owns the AI image you created? Exactly, Ed. I know. Yeah. Like, I know we're talking about a hypothetical question there, but who does own it, right? Technically me, although I still think the Adobe license says that you can't use anything they produce commercially with the AI model. So, like, legally, I wouldn't have any grounds on that image because it wouldn't be used commercially. Yeah, again, gray area, right? So it's one of those things of you can't use it commercially. Like, they know that everybody is doing that, but that's the kind of the loophole that everybody's working in at the moment. Yeah. It's got my Virgin Balloon images on Adobe stock. It uses AI, which to pay me $1. Oh, you said that, Sin. That's right. Yeah. Whew, man. What are you gonna spend it on? Have you decided yet? Saw a vid where they use Nano Banana model to sharpen a slightly out of focus face. Okay, it's like page. To be fair though, you can see that with text and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, okay. What if we? So the other thing I was kind of talking about here. I'm guessing that I can't do it because I'm out of credits. Image generative upscale, right? So this is another one here, right? So the generative upscale one, which kind of people were interested about, was, and I don't use this. Has anybody used Topaz here? Has anybody used Topaz? Because Topaz is supposed to be like pretty much like the industry standard for people who are upscaling images. Topaz is supposed to be very, very good. So it has a Firefly one here, so you can upscale it to 4 times. Output too large. Interesting. Width or height exceeds 6,000 pixels. Try a smaller scale or reduce the image size. You guys reading that? So the upscaler goes to 6,000? Like, aren't we supposed to be upscaling it to make it? What? Doesn't that seem weird to you? So what, we have to somehow work out how to get this below that? We have to make it smaller to then enlarge it? I'm kind of curious. What did it go to? So image size, height, what, 1,500. Generative upscale. So 2 times, 4 times. Okay, so we can kind of get away with it there. Let's have a look. God knows how long that'll take. So yeah. Anyway, so I'd never tried that, but I certainly wasn't expecting the 6,000 pixels to be the ceiling of the image upscaler. I thought the whole point of it was to make an image bigger. Well, 6,000 is like what, A2 maybe? A2, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, like 4,500 pixels is like A3, so I could see, yeah, so like maybe A2, so it's not massive, yeah, yeah. Okay, so bear in mind it was a JPEG. That, do you know, that's actually not too bad. That's actually not too bad. Oh, it creates a separate file? Did it? Oh, it does create a separate file. Interesting. Okay. So if we bring in the original file in here. So this is the original. Okay, okay. Now, bearing in mind I had to shrink it to make it large, but yeah, you know, it went from that to that. All right, look, I'm happy to shit talk, but I'm actually pretty impressed by that. I gotta say. Yeah. I know it's kind of weird, but I mean, 6,000 is fine, okay, whatever. But yeah. So what would I took it down to 1,500 pixels. Interesting, yeah. Okay. And then took it up to 6,000. Okay. Look, I can't deny I was actually pretty impressed with that. Yeah, yeah. Knocks out a web page that can build prompt for perchance stable diffusion. Okay, but even on Photoshoot, it's not quite real. So what are you saying there? That it's kind of in the like the uncanny valley style, and that's the thing with that image there that we just looked at with the upscaling. There's definitely this AI plastic skin thing that it adds. Yeah, yeah. I did a review of it for Photoshop user. I have on one resize. Okay, yeah. It was good, but now it's a mess. Yeah. Are you talking about what? Sin, you talking about Topaz, or are you talking about the image itself? Yeah, it's just using super resolution algorithm, I suspect, which is like what, interpolating like it used to. I mean, because Photoshop could kind of interpolate, as in fill in the pixels before, but I mean that's definitely better than the interpolation that it used to do. Yeah, it's probably for increasing AI images which are tiny. Yeah, exactly, in the plastic skin. Yeah, and typically like the AI images have that skin anyway. Yeah. So. Yeah, the resolution of those AI images, like what sort of resolution are we talking about with those AI images? Do you know? Yeah, there was a comment about that one. Oh, sorry, mate. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Sin. Yeah, I have Topaz, which I use for live wire shot for enough people shots. Okay, yeah, I use it for that. It was good, but now it's a mess. What? Did it get worse? Why did it get worse? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the image. Yeah, the image credit thing, man. So how did it go down? Did I use any? Oh, so I just used the... Okay, so I'm just using the basic ones. Yeah, so it's just taking one each time for that. Okay. So I can't use my credits, these credits, on the new tools. Do you know what? I thought you could do that. Okay. All right. So for basic bitches like me who are not going to spend any more money on the credits, nothing in Photoshop has really changed too much then. I assumed, and I'm kind of glad that we found that out on stream there, I assumed that the credits that we have with our plans, like this, I'm just using like the standard photographer plan or whatever it is, I just assumed that we would use those credits, but it's actually a different type of credit that is asking you to use. Yeah. You get complementary generations, like 2 of them to try each thing. Okay. Yeah. Deducts credits. Premium features. Okay. 5/10 2000. Okay, how many credits have you guys got? Have you guys got loads of credits? We were in here one week when we did it, and like I think Paul was in here, and he had like 2,500 credits, and the rest of us had like 200 or something. So so there does seem to be a little bit of confusion on that. Yeah. All right, we'll have to see then. We'll have to see. But yeah, so like we saw, what was it, £10 a month? So I don't know, it's gonna be like $12 or something for how many credits was it? 2,000 credits, right? Which is like, well, they said 6 20-second videos or something, so not much. Okay, but look, the options there. Like, I mean, what's kind of important here is that, for me anyway, Adobe is not charging us for that. Adobe is not going, well, we've added it to Photoshop. Like, me, who's not going to use that feature, like I'm not paying for it unless I need to. So look, I'm kind of personally, I'm fine with that. Are you guys going to? Are any of you guys interested in doing that? Or are you like, do you know what, Jake? I'm going to stick with Midjourney and do it properly on a standalone app. Or how can you not use Nano Banana outside of Photoshop? Like, why would I use Nano Banana in Photoshop? Isn't there a cheaper way to do it outside of Photoshop? I suppose there's limited rolls of the dice you can get each day. I suppose so if you're doing it commercially, you want 2,000 or something like that, then fair enough. Is anybody here gonna buy any credits, even if it's just once to like to play around with? Buy 10 quid's worth of credits and just play around, see what you can do with it. Just kind of curious, because I don't know who is using that. Like, the type of people who buy Photoshop, are they the type of people who are going all in on the AI generation of images? Like, are they the type of people who are changing the pose of a model in an image? Like, really? Are they the type of people using that? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the best person to ask about market trends for sure, but it seems, yeah. I wonder how much they'll make from it. Yeah. Stable diffusion is 768 pixels high, so not big at all then. Yeah. So Sing gets 250 a month like me. Yeah, I think I used 3 in the last year. Look, I will say I used it. Like if I clip an elbow, right? If I a crop and it's like, oh, that's the shot, but the elbow's clipped or something like that, I'll just, I'm not gonna lie, that's, rather than going back to Lightroom and bringing another file over that has the elbow in, I use it for something like that. Maybe there's some like crap on the ground in the background and just buzz it out. But then that's another thing actually that I noticed is that these tools here, right? So so this, like so if as soon as you click generative fill, that's using credits. But what they've done now is they've added this remove tool, which doesn't cost credits. So if you just want to go like remove this thumb here, let's try that again. That doesn't take any credits. So So there's a little bit of push and shove there, because for the most part, when I was using the generative thing, I was using it to kind of remove stuff like a Coke can on the grass in the background or something like that. That would use a credit, whereas now it doesn't, right? So that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Since 250 month, the same as me, and they've been out in browsers, I think, is low res and watermarked if you don't pay. Gotcha, Vlad. How much does it cost then? How much is Nano cost? Nano Banana is available through a free tier for limited use with paid access, typically costing around. Jesus. Okay. 0.3 cents. Okay. Per image for production workloads calculated at $30 per 1 million output tokens. What the fuck? Paid options are available through Gemini PC. Free tier. Paid tier pay as you go. It costs approximately. Okay, and that's for 1,000 by 1,000 pixel image. So it's kind of in the ballpark what you were talking about there. Yeah, 780. So like 770. So it's kind of the same world. Yeah. Some sources quote price around half a cent. Okay. Okay. All right. So it's cheap, man. It's cheap. Okay. And then you'd have to use your Topaz or something like that to upscale it. Yeah. Agencies. So Vlad says agencies are the perfect market for these tools, not us photographers. Yeah, agreed, Vlad. Agreed. And like it's easy, right? I mean, they don't have to go outside of that piece of software, whatever's coming in, and they can just be knocking out content like that. You know, if they got. Maybe they're doing content for 10, 15 brands, and they can just knock out. I agree, Vlad. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how many photographers are going to be using that. It's a good point. Yeah. The only thing I could imagine me using that feature, says Janos, would be transforming every model into Lobster Jesus. Since this doesn't cost credits for now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right, Sin. That's a good point. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay, so give and take there with Photoshop. Nothing's really going to change for me. Removing objects in the background doesn't cost any credits. Cool. If I wanted to do like major heavy lifting with AI, I cannot think why I would ever need to. Like maybe if I was to do some like background stuff, but even then I'd still use Midjourney. I think like something that was kind of bespoke for it. I don't think I would be using Photoshop for that. So yeah, look, I think like Vlad says, maybe it's not for us, and that's fine. It's got kind of a little bit of inbuilt image scaling there, which is cool for us. Like that's, but again, I don't think that's going to be for us unless we take this godly iPhone photo that we like. You know what? We could do with a bit more data in that. But yeah, I can't see it changing our world too much there. Generative upscale. Yep. Okay. Generate image. What's that? Oh shit! I haven't played with that. Okay. So it's actually got generate. So it's actually got like a Midjourney thing. What did you say? Model with lobster hands. Photo effects. No style. So is this just going to cost me, right? Oh, it's not going to. Oh, so it's going to use Firefly. Okay. So is it just going to create a model in there? Like, okay, I didn't realize it had that generate image thing in there. So that's using Firefly. I suppose you could dictate for it to not. But okay. These are just the layers on top. This is a wild times, man. How quick was that? For 3 images like that. These are wild times. I got just never believe anything ever again. Okay, so there's that. Great, I guess. What else we got? AI sharpen. Okay. So that uses Topaz Sharpen, which is the business model, which I presume. Oh, it's not. Okay, I thought it was going to bill me. Maybe I get a certain number of generous tokens for each new partnered model or whatever they're called. Yeah. Look. I'm not saying Topaz needs work, but I feel like there's some room for improvement. AI denoise. I don't think we'll be switching to AI sharpen overnight. I think we're good for a bit. There's nothing else in there. One thing there was the colorize thing, which we will look at another time. But I think you can harmonize, I think it's called. I need to actually dig out and have a look. You can basically merging two images, so you bring in like a blue chair into a green room, and then you can harmonize it, and then the chair will be turned green. I have the shadows and all that sort of stuff. So I need to kind of look at that and play with it. But yeah, that nightmare fuel we can leave for another day. Yeah, I know. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. The improved tools that they sold description model to us. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, better real life. Which is, I think there's a margin of error there that we're seeing, and I think we're good for a second. Topaz is £37 a month now. What? That seems a lot, no? I mean, I guess if you're upscaling all the time, but Jesus Christ, I mean, you could buy a digital medium format within a year. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, so in other news then, Canva, who bought Affinity Photo, is now free, right? So that's kind of wild. It's absolutely wild to me. The Affinity is now free. Some of you were using it before, right? Some of you owned Affinity before, and I haven't used it myself, but it's very good, very, very good, and certainly an excellent competitor to Photoshop. And it seems like you can see the video here and that sort of stuff. We've got layers and stuff here. We've got the tools and that sort of thing. I think who was it in here who said they switched over? Was it a big deal to switch over in terms of getting used to the new tools? It seems like they know who their market is, and they were like, we're going to keep it pretty much the same. And it looks like it would be a pretty smooth process to go over. So guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but this what used to be 70 quid before, right? Just standalone, no subscription model, 70 quid, one and done, own it forever, boom, job done, right? And now Canva, who were like this kind of web production kind of app thing that is kind of pretty good for small businesses. I know my wife uses Canva for her small business, and she swears by it. Says it's really, really good for the type of work that she's doing, which is just like basic branding and that sort of thing as well. So she uses Canva for that. These guys bought Affinity like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then they came out last week and said that we are now making Affinity free. So you got to understand that Affinity is not just it's not just the Photoshop replacement, right? It's also this Illustrator as well, right? There's also Illustrator, Photoshop, and essentially InDesign, all in one package, right? So it's all one deal now, and you can see up here, right? If you download Affinity, it's all in there now. So everything, you've got everything in there, all in these tabs. So you've got layout, which is InDesign, right? You've got the pixels here, boom, and then you switch over to vector, all under the same roof. So you're getting, not only are you getting this piece of software, this Photoshop, sideline Photoshop tool for free, you're actually getting all of those other programs as well, like Illustrator. Like I'm going to get it for Illustrator, I think, just because I used to use Illustrator all the time years ago when I was doing graphic design, but I didn't want to pay for it as part of, because it was like I only use it very occasionally to mess around in, so I didn't want to pay just to have it. So this could be really cool for just playing around with vectors and that sort of stuff. So I may just get this just for that. The other thing as well is InDesign, right? You guys know that I struggle bust through using Photoshop and that sort of thing to do books and PDFs and that sort of stuff, whereas so now this is in there. So look, I may get this just for the InDesign and Illustrator, and yeah, it's all free, and they said it's going to be free forever. who's using it? Anybody in here using it? Edit all my stuff on it. So Trevor says he uses. So Trevor uses it for all his stuff. When did you switch over, Trevor? Yeah. 55 euros when I got it, right? But I got it half price sale. Okay, nice. Yeah, I got the full suite as well for my kid. 120 euros for the 3 apps and the 2 iPad apps. Okay. So good point. And this is the thing, right? I mean, this is what I was saying to my wife, who because she'll usually she'll send me files and she go, oh, can you convert this like transparent background or PNG and all that sort of stuff as well? And I was like, great. I can certainly do that, but I think there's going to be a lot of people who this will be perfect for, right? Just a little bit of light work that they need, that they need to do something creative, not using it like heavily like we are with Photoshop. I think this will be outstanding. I really do. Yeah. The Dribble says I got the whole suite for $100. They had deals on all the time, but using it for a few years now. Okay, nice. Yeah. Richard says if you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Model is using it to funnel people to use the AI. That's the product. Okay. So, look, Richard's sentiment there is if you're not paying for the product, then you are the product. Fair. But look, his point here is that it's funneling you to pay for Canva. So Canva is the umbrella company that owns it, and yes, like the Canva production model here. So here we go. So the plans and prices for Canva. So what we got. So this is yearly, right? So if you want to pay 100 quid for a year, unlock premium content, more powerful features, the AI features. So that's the thing that's locked behind the payment wall, is that there's no AI features at all in Affinity. It's all, if you want to be doing all the kind of stuff that we were doing there with the generative AI and all those bits and pieces that we were kind of playing around with in Photoshop there, then you would need to kind of pay for it. So look, if that's not you, then look, Richard, you're right. Like, you are the product, but like that's yeah. I mean, I choose not to gamble because I know that I'm the product and I'm going to lose money. And I think that I would be more than comfortable recommending people to download this without them falling into the trap of paying for it, unless they wanted to and they wanted to use it. To your point though, Richard, that's the business model. It is the business model 100%, and people will sign up to it because of what it's offering. Look, I think it's phenomenal that they're doing it. I really do. And for those of us who are kind of dyed-in-the-wool Adobe users, that we can't kind of break away from it. It's good for us Adobe users as well, because it's keeps the pressure on them, right? And I think they brought this out at the best possible time. Yeah. So there's a page on there's an article on my website which I wrote a couple of years ago, whenever it was, on how to avoid the Adobe price hike, right? I literally spent 15 minutes writing it. It's a couple of screen grabs, boom. It's just like 200 words, boom. This is how you save money. Every single month, that is the most popular article on my website, right? And it's not even close. This month, it was 3 times more popular than any other page on my site. And that includes my homepage, by the way, right? 3 times more popular. I get so much traffic through that article that I spent 15 minutes writing. But it just goes to show how many people are kind of looking at the Adobe pricing structure, especially from last week, and the things that came out from it. And it's people are definitely looking at other options, whereas before I think we were kind of trapped by it. Trevor says he's been on it for about 2.5 years. I'm using Publisher for stuff. Okay, yeah. I got in Affinity number 1. Did you, Trevor? Wow. Okay. So that you said you were using it. So Affinity number 1 was what, 2.5 years ago? Okay. Because GIMP was one of the early ones as well. That's been out for a long time. Yeah. Since as he bought version 2 with the view of weaning myself off Adobe, but not managed to go cold turkey yet. Look, I'm with you, Sin. Yeah. I think it was smart. Yeah, got all the apps, iPad version, which is pretty good. Okay, good. Yeah. I think the only difference is the AI stuff. Yeah, that's what I found out as well when I was looking at this. The only difference was the AI stuff. Yeah. To be honest, you don't need it. I mean, we've just been talking about that, right? Like, for the type of work that we're doing, if you're just doing it as a hobbyist, then yeah, you just don't need it. Like we survived what, 15 years worth of digital imaging without the AI stuff, like we're good. Yeah, you're going to be able to do most of this stuff without it. Yeah. Since there's like a drug dealer's giving you green so they can flog you the white and brown and get you hooked. I mean, yeah. Look. I'm not saying that you need to sign up for it. I'm not. I just don't think we should look a gift horse in the mouth. And I'm certainly going to be recommending people go for this. I don't see it as malicious in any way. I don't think. I mean, look. I haven't used it. I don't know. Maybe you get a pop up every time you open it up and going, Have you thought about this or about this? Like if it's going to be like swamped with ads and pop-ups and that sort of stuff, encouraging you to go over to it, then fair enough. But I don't think it's doing that. But if you guys are experiencing this flashing icon in the top left, like wherever it is, like if this starts Canva AI starts flashing all the time, then yeah, okay, but I still think this is an absolute outstanding deal, and we shouldn't be turning our noses up at this for sure. Yeah. Wondering how it's possible. Here's our philosophy of how it works. Let's see what they say. We're sharing away made Affinity completely free. When we announced to professional grade suite designers, completely free. Great world lit up in just 4 days. Affinity has been downloaded more than 630,000 times. Good for them, man. Yeah, good for them. So, Richard, to your point, there's no way that a bunch of them are not going to be converted into sales, right? Fine. Okay, that's fine. The equivalent of filling Wembley Stadium 7 times over. It's a launch rate faster than most new creative apps on the App Store, and a remarkable signal of how ready the professional design community was for change. Yeah. Among the excitement of the first impressions, we also saw fair questions. How is this possible? What's the catch? Is my data safe? We understand your curiosity, so let's take a closer look. So it probably just shows the video there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Today, Canva is a rapidly growing company with over... So this is Canva, remember, not Affinity. So this is Canva is a rapidly growing company with over 28 million paying customers and 3.5 billion in annualized revenue. So I saw a clip from this video where he's going that Canva was self-supporting to the point of it being very profitable on its own right. So look, it was their kind of call to go. They didn't buy it so they could flog it. They didn't buy Affinity so they could flog it. So it's kind of cool, man. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Yeah, good for them. And look, we've got people in chat who've been using it for years, and they're loving it. I think I'll download it and have a play for sure. Yeah. Started on GIMP and then went to Affinity 1. Yeah, GIMP's been around for a while. Yeah, Affinity 2 came out. 2 for free, yeah. So Richard says, I bought all 3 for Mac and iPad versions. You used to use all the Adobe products, but unless it's your job full time, Adobe is hard to justify. Agreed, man. Agreed, yeah. Affinity is excellent. I would recommend. Okay, fair dues, man. Okay. So you were just, highlighting the business practice, and what you said was absolutely right. But even as a user, you're saying, look, you can recommend it. Yeah. You guys using it? And has anybody opened it up? And is there any, flashing things, sign up to Canva, or did you get any prompts, or is there anything kind of encouraging you to sign up to Canva once you're in there? Like, how is it doing it? Yeah. Like I said, my wife uses Canva all the time, so she's she's a user of Canva already. Yeah. I think for business, 170 quid for it is a good deal. Yeah, right. Yeah. Agreed. So 170 quid for a year. So if you were to pay monthly for that, what are we looking at? So 17 quid a month. Okay. Yeah. So Affinity here, add insights, inspiration AI creation, access to Leonardo AI. Okay. Compare features. So the free, is this Canva we're in now? Yeah. Okay, so this is the free Canva. Okay, but that's the only thing you pay for. So yeah. Okay. Okay. It's interesting. The free one you already get stock images already and templates. Okay. Bulk design creations. Yeah. I mean, look, it seems like they've it seems pretty well integrated. So, for example, my wife, runs her own small business, and she uses Canva to produce, like I said, business cards or leaflets and flyers and all that sort of stuff. And then she does all the printing within Canva, right? So it's kind of a pretty smart ecosystem that they built, so that it prints everything through them as well. So yeah, okay, yeah. I don't have the time to learn something new, but it is my full-time job. Paul, I'm with you, and that is the excuse that I'm hiding behind. I'm actually looking at this, going, it actually looks damn near identical, right? Some of the like the pixel. I mean, it looks damn near identical. I don't think it would be a major learning exercise, but it is good to know though, because if Adobe just go crazy and it's like, yeah, do you know what? It is going to be £50 a month. You know what? I'm out. But yeah, when it's your full-time job and you just get to a certain age where you're just like, you know what? I know how to use this. I just want to hop in Photoshop and then hop out. So Danny says, I use Affinity because of the frequency separation, but Evoto is better at certain images. Photoshop has some advantage. Okay. I use Affinity for frequency separation. Interesting. All right. Yeah. Trevor says, I still get used to my 2.6 interface. No change in it for me. Okay. So yeah, you haven't noticed any change since they made it free. They haven't, they're not trying to encourage you to pay for anything. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, we use Canva for like everything design-wise, but just 100 quid. Oh, so you use Canva already, Paul? Okay, so you use the, nice. Okay, so you're using it already. So you're over here in the, the Pro one. Okay. Nice. Okay, good stuff. Nice. Yeah. Sujino says, I just downloaded it. When I opened the installer, the Duolingo owl was standing there with a knife in his hand demanding that I sign up for at least 100 quid. That's crazy, man. That's nuts. Like, you got to be careful out there, guys. You got to be careful, right? Obviously you paid, right? So Jocelyn says, yeah, I don't think you can get Affinity now without a Canva account. Yes, that's a good point, Jocelyn. Yeah, so Jocelyn, my wife, who I was just saying, uses it for her business. Yeah, that's a good point. So you cannot get Affinity now without having a Canva account. So yeah, so I presume you're going to get emails and that sort of stuff. But I presume you can kind of stop those if you want. Yeah. Lots of charities use Canva for stationery as flyers. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Jocelyn was saying that it's actually a very good deal for flyers, business cards, and that sort of stuff. And it looks like Paul's been using it as well. Yeah. Yeah. Trevor says also in Affinity, I believe non-destructive editing is default for most things. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Nice. I have access to the Canva as a scout leader. A group is Richard charity. Interesting. So that goes hand in hand with what Sim was saying then. So is there a deal that Canva does with charities then, guys? Do they have like a individuals in business? Is it like an education? Okay. Holy shit. Is this actually a good company? Like, I mean, I don't want to speak out of turn, but what the fuck? Okay. Damn. So you guys use it for charities or like your, Scout Hut and that sort of stuff. That's cool, man. No way. Get verified. Okay, so yeah, you just got to go through a few hoops, but that's awesome, man. Okay. Huh. There you go. God damn. Canva out here. Hey? When do you think they're going to drop the bomb? When do you think they're going to start upping the prices of the crack? Like, just get us all on board. 5 years from now, we'll be cursing this stream. Yeah, you can buy all sorts of templates from places like Etsy and other photographers. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, yeah, I don't use it at all. Yeah, 5 people per group is great. Nice. Okay, good stuff. All right, look, guys, Affinity. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you how to get there. Looks like most of you are already aware of it and using it or whatever. But yeah, check it out. I think I'm going to get it for the. I think I'm going to get it for the Illustrator and layout stuff. And I'm just going to have a play. And then, it's kind of clever, right? Because if I start playing with this for vectors and layouts and I get comfortable with it, it's just going to make it so much easier if Adobe just go crazy with the pricing. It's going to make it so much easier to cross over. Yeah. Okay. Like I said, nothing crazy product-wise this couple of weeks. I've seen a couple of these pop up. I was chatting to Vlad on Instagram the other day about these, and he was mentioning that they were kind of like, yeah, seems okay. So there's just a bunch of these all coming out at the same time. And look, you guys know that I use the kind of gobos or the projection unit a lot, and love it. Very, very controlled, hard light. And this is a very, very cheap version of that. But just something to kind of think about. I've seen a bunch of these coming out. Now, obviously the downsides is that it's 10 watts, right? So, but if you're in a dark room, controlled, then pretty good. So we got small rig and newer seem to be almost exactly the same model. Then we have like a super cheap one here. I don't recommend that one. But the small rig and the newer ones seem pretty good, right? And these are, what, 50 quid? 50 quid. And had a look at a couple of reviews before we went live. And people were like, yeah, look, it's 10 watts. Like, we're not, it's not trying to hide behind anything. But you've got different colors in there. You've got like 5 colors in there. And if you just wanted something on the back wall for something, a background or something like that, and you just wanted a nice clean coverage, there you go. You can see the little... Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So it's just a bare array, just like that. Okay. I guess if it's going to be focused, okay. For some reason, I just assumed that it was going to have some sort of frosting on there, but I guess it's going to be focused. So yeah, you just pop the gobos in there. Just something if you guys wanted to kind of dabble and play around with this kind of backgrounds on the color backgrounds on the back wall, then these things from the reviews I was looking at, 50 quid. Not bad. Again, you would need to have a dark room, right? Let's not kid ourselves. I think somebody was saying like lasts for like 3 hours. Somebody was saying either the small rig lasts for 5 hours, the newer lasts for 3 hours. Right? So yeah, have a look. Worth kind of playing around with. If you're shooting video, especially, right? It's going to be fine. But yeah. Bunch of these come out. There's another one here that comes up as well called Light On from Ukraine. It's a little bit more expensive, but these ones are a little bit more involved, right? So how do you change the language in these? Oh yeah, look, I'm all over it, man. Internet professional. So these ones are a little bit more professional if you wanted to do something a little bit crazy with a bit more power, right? And so just that on its own is... What is that? Cost-wise? 3,850 UAH. 3,850. What? UAH to GBP. What did I say? 3,850. 70 quid. Okay, so a little bit more. Okay. And then these ones have, like a bit more involved in that sort of thing. I think for this, again, if you, I think this is really only useful for shooting video and that sort of stuff, but you can get more detailed ones that have a little bit more options and power and that sort of thing. I did see the power of these before they went live. I can't remember now, but I think it was like nothing crazy. I think like 40, 60 watts, something like that. Yeah. You can change the temperature of the one that you buy. What the hell? Interesting. Okay. So I suppose they just changed the bulb out for you. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what these are like, but I saw a couple of people recommending them. Again, I think if you were a studio shooter and you were going to be using this in the studio, I would recommend you actually get like an optical spot or snoot. But if you're somebody who likes to throw your lights in a bag, this seemed pretty good. Pretty bright for outside. It had a bit of a throw to it as well, so you could get some stuff downrange. But yeah, so you're looking at. What, the other ones were 50 quid, these were like 70, 80 quid, I suppose, if you get some accessories to these, but yeah. Something to play around with, yeah. Yeah, I could have sworn I saw the watts of these, and I can't see it now. But it's definitely 40, at least 40 watts, if not more, yeah. Yeah, anyway, yeah, something to play with. Okay. So Sin says, I volunteer for dementia charity and they use it regularly. It makes sense to produce your own material rather than paying a designer to do it. Yeah, for charity, yeah, absolutely, Sin. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's cool. We have that option, yeah. Hey, Alan, how you doing? How much do you guys pay for Adobe? I think that's what I pay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I pay. Alan, yeah. It's just the base one for Photoshop and Lightroom, but I think that's the base one. I don't know how long that's going to last, but yeah. So Sin says he pays £10. I've signed up for the annual update. When you say the annual update, is that something that's come out recently, Sin? Yeah, they're all exactly the same, cheaper on AliExpress. Okay, I mean, so what Vlad's talking about here is these ones. To his point, I would agree and say that I feel like these are all coming out of the same Chinese factory somewhere, and they're just kind of being rebranded. So to Vlad's point, if you wanted to find, apart from that one, looks absolutely terrible. So apart from what I'm saying here is that there's some variances there, but yeah, they're probably all coming out of the same factory. Yeah. So yeah, what did you say? AliExpress or something? Yeah. I just don't focus sharp. Yeah, that is a good point. So that's what I kind of wanted to. So this here, right? You see this kind of thing here. So this you can pull and push out, and it seems to kind of either make it bigger or smaller, but there is no focus option. So I was kind of curious about that because I didn't see anybody talking about the focusing, but yeah, there is no focusing aspect on it apart from you moving closer and further away. So that would be if you were shining one of these on the background. It's really dependent on how close you are to it. So that is a good point to bring up, is the fact they aren't focusable. Yeah. You got one? Oh, you've actually used one. Okay. So there you go. So you're speaking firsthand then. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Get marketing push before Christmas. Keep in mind they are not RGB fully controllable. Yeah, they've got like 5 colors, so they're not RGB like we know RGB. There is like red, green, blue, orange type thing. Yeah. Worst thing, can't use anything you used to having 2015 iMac. Yeah, man. Yeah. Look, you know me. I don't update. And when I spoke to Adobe about that, they said we make a cutting edge product and we expect that to be used on we make cutting edge software and we expect that to be used on cutting edge hardware. That was their response to me when I updated my Photoshop once and it just basically didn't work, right? And I think I had to go online and find a hacked old version to kind of upload onto my Mac before I updated it. But yeah, that was Adobe's official response when I spoke to them. It's like, yeah, we make cutting edge software, we expect that to be used on cutting edge hardware. Yeah. All right, can I not download the older version? Like, yeah. I never used the AliExpress specs, just like buying underpants at a charity shop. Look, mate, I don't use it either, but Vlad uses it all the time. He swears by it, but he's in a part of the world where I think it's like a pain in the ass to use Amazon. Is that right, Vlad? Yeah. They bumped the monthly price but kept the yearly the same. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they offered to keep customers on at the old deal if you paid for a year in advance. That was a while ago, though, right, Sin? Or can I do that again now? I mean, I'll do that again now if I do this. Yeah, tell me the same lantern. Yeah, and I'm sure you're right, Vlad. I'm sure you're right. Yeah. Like I said, I was looking at the newer and the small rig ones. Yeah, that's wild, man. That's wild. Yeah, well done, man. That's exactly the same. Like literally exactly the same. That's hilarious. Yeah, there you go, man. So look, that link that Vlad just put in there. If you were interested, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's gold. Well done, mate. Well done. Look at this bad boy. Look at this beast. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's nuts. Hey, no worries, Jimmy, man. No worries. Yeah. I need to get onto the AliExpress for gear. Yeah. And there's a 12-watt one that actually focuses attachment for some reason. Yeah. They had a window. Give you the old price. Oh, okay. I think I did sign up. I think mine expires in January or something like that. So I guess I'll have to suck it up, man. Yeah. Yes, use that link that Vlad used because I think we can all agree that's exactly the same product. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Okay. So, any questions on any of that? I think we played around with a bunch of stuff there, right? We had a look and kind of explored what's going on with that. Changes, right? Changes. Affinity is good for everybody. I think it's good for Affinity users. I think it's good for Adobe users. It keeps, like, Adobe on their toes. So I think that's good news. If you want to use the third-party tools within Photoshop, they are going to sting you for those credits by a hefty margin, I should think. So yeah, something to think about. Amazon here is kind of non-existent, but you also get the same amount as an Amazon. I get an AliExpress with a small price bump. Yeah. Okay, bud. Yeah. I thought it was something where it's kind of not worth pursuing Amazon or where you are, which is makes sense. Yeah. I think my wife uses AliExpress for bits and pieces. Yeah, I haven't used it though. Okay. So let's have a look. Let's see. Okay, so let's come over here to Lightroom. Let's get rid of cancel that. So I kind of just wanted to have a chat about a recent photo shoot I did for basically a hair campaign last week, and I kind of wanted to just go through, start to finish what was involved and that sort of thing, just to kind of give people an overview, and also if anybody has any questions about the process or ideas or reasons for anything that was done, then we can obviously have a chat about that. By all means, fire away. So client gets in touch, organised dates, times, prices. Prices are all signed off. Everybody's good to go. Now we need to kind of work out what's going on with the actual shoot itself. Like what is involved? What do they want? How do we kind of get there, right? So for the most part, it can typically start off with just a mood board in general from the client, right? And then it's up to you, the photographer, to kind of interpret what that means. And the reason you're kind of having to interpret what that means is because it's extremely rare that they'll find an image that is exactly what they want. And really, you don't want to be copying somebody else's work anyway, right? So the reason of a mood board is to kind of give you lots and lots of little ideas to kind of then work on the final idea that they want, right? So, for example, like here we've got these real strong shadows, geometric shadows. We've got some texture back here. We've got some texture here. We've got this again with the shadows, right? So there's a running theme here, and this kind of geometric shapes, a lot of them as well. So a couple of things we needed to iron out from my point of view as a studio photographer is, look, a lot of these are daylight images, which, okay, not the end of the world, but trying to recreate daylight in a studio is nigh on impossible. There's a couple of reasons for that. One of which is daylight is an extremely hard light, right? So it's razor sharp shadows, and its exposure drop off is almost non-existent, right? So the inverse square law to us on Earth dealing with sunlight is non-existent, right? So what I mean by that is you can go outside tomorrow and stand in your garden, and then a friend of yours can stand in the county over, and you'll be exactly the same exposure, right? There is no exposure drop off, right, to us on planet Earth. So that means that daylight for full body shots, super easy, right? You don't have, like, the feet are going to be exactly the same exposure as the head. Nothing to worry about. That's actually far harder than you think to achieve in a studio with a hard light, right? So there's a couple of things that I'm kind of red flags that I need to think about. So this is achievable in a studio. I just kind of have to use like 3 lights rather than the one sunlight to kind of achieve it. But yeah, so that's something to think about. The other thing here is going to be texture, right? I need to try and interpret what they want by this texture, because it turned out that these kind of Venetian blind effect that we're seeing, these lines and that sort of thing, kind of like the idea of them just being on the background, didn't really want them on the subject. Okay, cool. So that's easy enough. We can start to do that with some gobos, bring those in, and then just pull the model off the background, and then we can have this kind of effect on the background, but not affecting the model. The other things here is going to be color. Again, color was not something that they were after. They were just using it for these kind of swipes of light and shadow that they kind of liked. And again, here, light and shadow. The other thing as well is that, so these are my notes here on the right from the time, is just thinking about concerns, is this is a hair campaign. A lot of this is very contrasty light. As a result, you end up with a lot of contrast, means a lot of blacks, right? A lot of clipped data, which we can see here. So in practically all of these shots, there is almost no data in the hair. So I have to kind of translate that into, look, I love these shots, but we can't really use them in their current form to photograph hair because we just won't be able to see any data in the hair. Unless you want to do something like geometric with the hair and go pure avant-garde with these cranny, like wacky silhouettes and stuff, that's cool. But for the most part, we need to be mindful of there's no data in the hair in here. So yes, we can go for this strong light, but in my mind, it's like we also need a ton of fill light, right? We need that fill light to be able to see the data in the hair, okay? So the other thing here that kept coming up is this texture, right? We got this concrete. I absolutely love this concrete. It'd be beautiful to use. Again, daylight, we can see very, very clean, razor sharp shadows, no exposure drop off. Cool, but we don't have, we can't shoot in daylight, and we don't have access to this concrete wall. So, and again, textures, right? So a lot of textures in the background. So me going away and kind of coming up with something that we can do with that. So that's that, right? So we're working out the mood board and that sort of stuff, and then we can kind of look at the space we have, right? So this is the data that I was given for the space that we're working with. So it looks like they actually already have backdrops and stuff here. Okay, cool. But we also have a lot of windows here. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because as somebody who shoots with LEDs now, I'm super concerned with every kind of on-site location that I work in. Is like, how bright is it going to be? How dark can I make it? Now, years ago, if I was shooting flash, I wouldn't need to worry about this. Okay, so this is something that you guys need to kind of think about. It's something that I need to think about. Is it worth it? Do I really need to use LEDs? Should I just bring the flashes? Can we make it dark? It's kind of annoying that we have to go through this process, and I jumped on a video call and I was like, I need to see, the room, how dark can we make it? So they sent some shots with the blinds down. I think we're good, right? Even like space behind, easy to cover up. So ultimately, I was absolutely fine bringing in the LEDs, but years ago I wouldn't have even had to ask that question with flash, right? It would have been a non-issue. But something that I need to be mindful of now when I'm organizing a shoot. So, okay, I got the space. It's from here that I am going to then go away and start to generate some kind of three-dimensional drawing, three-dimensional setups of that environment to kind of give me an idea of the space that we're using, and kind of put together a couple of setups that I think could work, right? So we're going to be using like the hard light, which we can see there, and then filling it in with, big umbrella here, fill light. But again, this 3D space is created in a piece of software called Satellite 3D. Very easy to use. Didn't take long to put this together, and I didn't have any measurements from the guy. I'm just using it. I'm just working it out by eye. There are kind of standard measurements for windows and doors that you kind of know, and as soon as you input them in, we've got 2 windows, space either side. So I was able to build that 3D diagram based on the photos that they'd given me. So this now gives me some way to start planning some shots and working out some setups and seeing what we can do in the space that we have. Can I shoot 105mm lens, for example, right? How far can I get back? Is it realistic? How high are the ceilings, right? Can I bring the model quite far forward to get a lot of separation between model and background without seeing the background above? So these sorts of things are useful, and then it's also useful to kind of throw together a couple of ideas to then send the client, right, and go, look, we're going in the right direction. What are we doing? How's it looking? Is this good? Is this not what you were thinking? And bring us over to what you can see. So, for example, this sort of thing was cool. This is kind of one of the ideas we kind of ended up with in the end, right? These sorts of things weren't working. You didn't want this much color in it. So, too much color needed to be way more muted than that. Needed to be pretty knocked back. This one here as well. It's like, kind of like the pattern and stuff, but I don't want it on the model. Pattern can be on the background, right? And again, similar sort of thing, right? So we're just playing with these different shapes, showing some examples of what we can do with gobos and that sort of stuff in the space that we have. And again, messing around with colored light and gobos and bits and pieces like that. Okay. So this is really useful so that everybody is kind of pretty much signed off before you arrive on the day of what you're doing and what you're getting. We got like 4 models. We know what the models are going to be. We know what we know what the hair is going to be and that stuff. We can start formulating these ideas. No point in me setting this up on the day and then going, no, I kind of wanted it on the background. You can kind of iron out all these issues before you start shooting, right? And this is ultimately kind of where we ended up, right? In terms of like just subtle enough. Didn't want too much color, but just enough. Keep it clean. Right. I'll just check we don't have any questions before we carry on. I think we're good. Hey, morning, mate. How you doing? Gosh, we were all getting recommended the same things on Pinterest. See those images last week. Yeah, they weren't my images, but yeah. How big is a big umbrella for the fill light? Probably in centimeters. 210 maybe. 210. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. So one other thing that I wanted to kind of do, and one thing I was kind of concerned about, and I know from experience, is that these backdrops, they were like, yeah, we wanted a nice clean backdrop. I know that these coloramas, I can kind of see that it's, it's probably a normal colorama, but it's thin, right? We can see the light coming through it. I can kind of see that these crossbars here are kind of a little bit warped. This is one of the spaces in the hairstyle probably doesn't get used a lot. So in my mind, I'm very, very cautious of using this background because I know that when we unfurl that, it'll probably have kinks in it because it's been there for a while. It's probably gone oval as it's hung there and that sort of stuff. It's not particularly thick. So my experience tells me that I'm concerned about using that, even though they're like we have a white background there. So one thing that I did, correct, Vlad, correct, yeah. So one thing that I went away and did is, let's have a look. So I went away and bought a window blind, right? So just a regular window blind off Amazon for like just a white window blind for like 25 quid or something like that. As big as I could get. So like 3 meters wide by 2 meter drop, right? And then I painted it with quite thick outside emulsion paint to try and get this texture, right? And I painted it several times, and yeah, here we go. Yeah, right. So I painted it several times. So this had a lot of kind of texture to it in the end, right? And I was just using, in the end, I was trying all sorts of different textured rollers and brushes and that sort of stuff. In the end, just using an actual mop brush or brush that you would brush the floor with these dense bristles kind of gave the best kind of results. I wanted that kind of very, very textured look. Okay, and again, yeah, so just white exterior masonry paint that says it's textured, and it did have a lot of kind of speckles in it. Not a huge amount, but certainly enough for what I wanted. And you can see here, lying on the floor, it's got a lot of texture back there. I got to say, this was actually super useful on the day. I'm really pleased I took the time and effort to do this beforehand, because I didn't kind of give them too much warning on this. I was like I'll bring it along, we'll try it. But yeah, so I had tested it out beforehand. So I tested it out just to see what it was kind of looking like, and like immediately one of the things that I could see was it's kind of, that looks cool there, and it kind of works if you're slightly tighter on the aperture, right? So f4, 5.6, f8, something like that, as opposed to one where you're very, very shallow there. Were these all f4, f8, something like that? That's f6, whatever that is. But yeah, some of these I was testing with different apertures, but to really see this background I think, you know, it ended up being a 5.6 or something like that. Yeah, which is probably what that is. Yeah. So just playing with some ideas, and yeah, so here you can kind of see the texture working with there. So still flat, but got enough of a texture that's not like just a white colorama. Definitely got something a little bit of, you know, interest with it for sure. Right. Oh, and these are just the gobos that I was going to be bringing along. Okay. So just that, all set already, all signed off. Everybody kind of knows what they're doing. All good. So kind of setting out. We can see the background there, right? So we can see we got this texture here. Right, so you can see it hanging up there. And again, just using some C-stands there and bringing it in. So the background itself is just being suspended with a couple of light stands and then some booms from C-stands there. Okay. So there's a few things going on here, right? Getting in, setting up the backdrop, and I immediately saw that it would be cool to actually bring in some plants. I hadn't intended it, but actually using real life plants here as well, rather than just relying on the gobo. So the other thing, I'm holding stuff in front of the lens here, which I'll explain in a second. I'm just doing tests with different things in front of the lens. But yeah, one of the things that I noticed when I was shooting this was it kind of was looking a little bit fake. Right, what I mean is just like, this is what I hate about gobos, and I see people using gobos all the time, and it just always looks like a gobo. So I'm always really kind of wary of that. So the plant helped to break that up as well, right? So the plant made it feel a little bit more textured, as it were. You know, we're trying a couple different things there. But what I'm also doing is I'm also trying to fade off one of the sides of this gobo. So it's not just plastered on. You know, I've got it at a quite acute angle. I don't think, can you see it in some of these? Yeah, there you go, up here. So it's kind of, you know, it's not way behind me shooting at the wall. It's kind of more of an acute angle coming across the room, and that means that we kind of get this cool, interesting slant. And then what I'm doing here is, this is a Rotolite EOS 2 Pro. I'm bouncing off a white sheet on this side, and I'm just trying to take off the edge of that gobo, right? I'm just trying to soften the edge of that gobo with some light from that side. I'm trying to bounce in some light on this side just to take the edge off. So it's rather than it just being this kind of very stark, stuck on kind of look, I was just using that to kind of soften it on that side, right? So just to give it a little bit more interest. So you can see it there. Right, so quite strong here, and then it fades off as we go across the shot. Okay. So that's the gobo. So we know where that is over on camera left. We're shooting it through a plant. We brought in some stuff here to bring up the plant so we can get that in the background. Now we need to light the model. So again, I'm using another EOS 2 Pro here, right? Rotolite EOS 2 Pro here, bringing that in. That's what's illuminating her here. Right, and then the fill light for the room is this beautiful lantern. Right, beautiful lantern here. Now, ideally, I would have that suspended in the room on a C-stand and boom and that sort of stuff, but didn't have that ability in the space. So I was just kind of pointing it straight in there. And then what I'm also doing is these are mirrors. You've got to be in hair salons are a nightmare for this, but there's always mirrors in hair salons. So I'm always kind of, you see it like down here, I've covered up the mirror here, I've covered up the mirror there. And then here I've just hung up these white curtains that I brought. I thought maybe I'd use them as a background, but instead I've ended up using them as like a fill light, just to kind of have this light bouncing around a little bit more, just to soften where the light's going. And it also means that we don't get any harsh light coming off the mirrors there. Okay, so this is our fill light, bringing that in, and we have one more light, and that's this fella here. You guys have seen me singing the praises of this in the past. I love this little thing up here. This is the Nanlite the FC120 or F120C or whatever it is. So 120 watt little light, weighs next to nothing, like weighs probably less than a speed light, and then it's got its own little spotlight on there, and that is what's shining at me, right? Boom. This was shining at me, right? So this is doing nothing else apart from illuminating me and the camera lens, and that is what this is here, right? So this is like a little bit of fabric that I'm holding, like white fabric, and then the reason it's brown here is because I'm shining like 3000 Kelvin on the white fabric, which is highlighting it in front of the lens here, and then here it's exactly the same fabric, but I'm changing the color of the Kelvin of this light, right? So this light that's firing at me, that's the one I'm changing the Kelvin of, and that's how I'm able to get the flare to begin with, and also change the color of the foreground element that's actually in the shot. Okay. Any questions so far? All good? Everybody up to speed on that? Let me just, I've got an Instagram thing here. Let's have a look. So this is from Stories on the Day, what we got. So yeah, let me just, I will just turn this down. I don't think it's got any audio, but just in case. So these are Stories on the Day. So yeah, so this is the kit that I brought. This is the space, right? So a lot of kit in the space, and then this is the background. So you can see I'm just using the crossbar that comes with like the boom arm that comes with a C-stand, and it's just in the knuckle there. And then it's just slotted down because this is a window blind, remember? This is not like a designated blind or anything like that. Yeah. And that's the blind on there. And this is the lantern. So you can see, look, it's pretty good, right? In terms of hotspots. Pretty impressive. I tell you, like, it's rare that I get a chance to use, like I said there, it's rare that I get a chance to use this thing, but this is really good. This lantern is absolutely beautiful, especially if you're looking for environmental light. So what I mean by that is this is kind of sending light everywhere, and it's fine. I mean, I'm controlling the light here because of the white sheet here, so I'm kind of bouncing around, so you're actually able to get a very, very, very soft light. Yeah. So Vlad pointed out the fact that I'm using like a huge umbrella in the diagram. Kind of turned out that you really didn't have the room for me to be there with the lens being straight on, which is what they wanted, kind of being straight on. Whereas in a lot of the renders, I'm kind of off to the side of the umbrella and that sort of thing. So this lantern was kind of, it actually ended up being better, far softer fill light, right? But yeah, you see, it's like almost no hotspot on there, right? Beautiful. Even when I'm looking straight at it, look. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. And then, again, like the setup, which we've just been speaking about, we can see there. You can see it fading off towards the right hand side because of that light being bounced into the white sheet on the right hand side. Right. Got the plant there. So here we can see the light that's pointed at me. So where this is, this is another spot. It's very controlled onto me. It's not bouncing around the room. It's really only hitting me with the camera and the fabric that I'm holding in front of the lens. Okay. And again, we can see we've got the plant stuff there. So it's changed up, different model coming through there. Yeah. Yeah. Let's check the questions here. So should I get a lantern or 130 umbrella? So the umbrella is good for a studio. The lantern I love for environmental shots because it takes on the qualities of the room that you're in. So typically you saw where we were back here, right? Yeah, there it was. Yeah, so you can see like it's going everywhere, and it's going everywhere incredibly evenly. So if you can control that and manage that, it's actually kind of nice, because if you've got, let's say you're on location and the walls are kind of slightly warmer, right, then it's going to bounce around the room that you're in, so it's going to give you more of an environmental fill light. So I think if you were shooting cinema and that sort of stuff, like cinematic shots, the lantern is great for that because it takes on the properties of the room that you're in, whereas an umbrella is actually way more controlled and can be a bit stark. Ultimately you need both, but I think it depends on the type of stuff that you're shooting. Yeah. was actually really surprised at how well it worked coming through these plants, you know. And again, this is one of those things where people are like, oh, you have these 3D designs and everything's signed off and that sort of thing, and then you always have to be open to improving the shot on the day, right? You always have to be looking at ways that you can improve it. You're arriving with the kind of the bare minimum, right? If everything else fails, you have your bare minimum shot that you can get. You always want to be looking to interpret and change that on the day. And then that's a situation. I saw some plants in the corner, and I was like, that could be cool, and that could really try and, you know, break this up, and it ended up working really well. You know. So again, changed it again now. So now we're going to go into more of a slot type look. This was absolutely my favorite. This was gorgeous. This setup with the slot, and I'm kind of more of a fan of this over the gobos personally. But you know, it's always good to have options, right? So you see coming through that plant there. It's just a little bit of breakup here on the background, right? Just a little bit of breakup, very out of focus. Really nice. Yeah, really nice. Yeah. And there's just some messing around with some Polaroids on the day. I think that's probably it. Oh yeah, just the old steam engine there. Life in the old girl, yeah. So yeah, okay. So that's that. That was kind of the breakdown on the day. The lantern reminds me a bit of the classic IKEA lantern every student had in their bedrooms in the early 2000s. It's called exactly the same, China lantern, which is what they were called from IKEA as well. Do you know? So yeah, and because they were made of paper, right? So, yeah. I mean, I don't need to tell you that that's not ideal, but you're absolutely right. It's exactly the same thing. It's just that these ones are encased as well, so there is no hotspot coming down, because those IKEA ones had holes in them to let heat out and that sort of stuff. Yeah. You know, I made a video on how plant and hard light is amazing a few months ago. I'm sure you did, mate. I'm sure you did. Yeah. So let's have a look then. Let's have a look at Lightroom. Yeah. So again, this is the and you can really see that background texture really kind of paying off there now. Yeah, really good. So these were the ones that we were kind of playing with. So this is what I was talking about. So AI culling would kind of remove this movement, right? It's just kind of this in between pose, which I thought was really cool. But yeah. So again, here you go. Yeah. So these are the raws here with the shot, so just coming across. So the one thing you might be thinking about here then is we've got a couple of things going on with the color, right? So the camera itself is probably at about 4,700 Kelvin, right? That's what the camera is at. The fill light, which if you remember is the lantern, right? So the lantern is very cold, because we can see how cold the color is here. So that's not a gel, that's going to be Kelvin, right? So if we shift the Kelvin of our fill light versus our camera, that's how we can get those color shifts. So here the lantern is about 6,500 Kelvin, right? So the lantern's about 6,500 Kelvin. Now the gobo light, or the hard light that's coming in from the left-hand side here, is probably looking at around about 4,000, 3,500 Kelvin, right? So you've got the warmth from the slot, right, the gobo, which is about, what did I say, 3,500 Kelvin, something like that. You got the fill light, which is going to be your 6,500 Kelvin as well, right? And then you're putting your camera in the middle so that you can see both of those colors, right? And this is where we ultimately ended up here. You know, this beautiful kind of warmth on the skin here from that on the left hand side, and then we have our lantern doing the work here with these beautiful blues and the fill color. But you can see like that texture doing a lot of the work here. So the 85mm f4, right, ISO 200. So and here we can start to see this is the fabric in all these shots, right? The fabric. Now the light that's being pointed at me is the same color as the lantern, right? 6,500, right? So this fella here, 6,500. and that's how we're able to get this kind of beautiful glow coming in from the bottom there. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Yeah. So yeah, this was interesting, man. This is a little bit out of my comfort zone in terms of the style, because you know me, I absolutely crutch on the colors, right? But this was more of a subtle approach to the colors. Absolutely loved it. And look, I'm not saying this wouldn't be possible with Flash, but it would have been a pain in the ass because of the CTOs and CTB gels that you'd need for those. And you can go, well, yeah, like, you know, you can gel flashes, of course you can. Gelling that lantern would have been a pain in the ass. And you'd go, okay, well, then you just switch to the umbrella, maybe something like that. You just kind of suck it up and make that adjustment there. You'd need a whole bunch of kind of more narrowed CTO and CTB gels than I have. I have like full tungsten, full like daylight and beyond. But I won't lie, like the LED lights here was a lot of fun to play with, because you can really tweak and dial in every single Kelvin. And I was kind of tweaking the Kelvins on all of these lights the whole time, which you can't do with Flash. So look, you guys know my opinion on LEDs, and sure, it meant like an extra phone call, calling him, going, look, how much light is in that room? Can we get away with it? So it meant an extra phone call from there. But once all that's squared away, like having the LEDs there was just so much easier. Not having to worry about any CTBs or CTOs is absolutely huge. Yeah, really, really good. Yeah. So this is the movement of LEDs, right? And look, it's not going to be for everybody, but there is something about this. And look, I think I mentioned it earlier on, but Peter Coulson, he's literally just done a video on this where he's using LEDs. I think he typically uses Flash. He's playing with the nanlight panels, and he's shooting on that Hasselblad watch, even at 250th of a second. And he's got movement in the hair, and he's going, you know, I'm pretty into it, right? So look, it's not always about it being crystal clear and pin sharp the whole time. It is just having about a little bit of energy. I mean, this is sharp, but sometimes a little bit of energy, a little bit of motion, you know, because she's between poses here, right? That's what I'm trying to capture, is kind of this between pose sometimes where you get something unique. And kind of this is where the magic happens for me, right? When you're working with somebody like this, she's going through poses, a routine or whatever, and you're just kind of capturing these in-between moments. Sometimes is where the real magic is, right? It's not always about everything being set up and posed and perfect. Sometimes it's about just trying to capture something that is kind of more unique, you know? So definitely a lot of fun. Look, you know, I'm enjoying LEDs. There is a little bit of a learning curve with them, a little bit of stress if there's like, oh my God, there's not as many crystal pin sharp images as with Flash, but you know, something to play with and consider, you know. I think you saw some of these retouched a minute ago. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I think I played with some of these at the end. Yeah. Oh yeah, you brought this into Photoshop a minute ago. Yeah, so pretty clean, but yeah, very very striking, very very kind of editorial. Really really nice. Yeah. So hopefully that all makes sense. If any questions about that, then by all means let me know. But yeah, really, really looking forward to retouching some of these and playing with them, because yeah, again, it's slightly different to what I would normally do, but definitely a lot of fun to play with. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, if you've got any questions about any of that, then let me know. We can cover it. But otherwise, let's have a look at the work that you guys have been submitting. Let's have a quick skim through these. So we got a bunch here. Terry, yeah, everybody's in here. Oh, nice, Paul. Thank you for adding that. Loving this color. Good stuff. Nico, a little bit of movement in there. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Tony as well. Nice. Okay. Love it. All right, let's have a look. So this one from Vlad here to get us started. Nice and warm, nice and cozy, playing with those beautiful silhouettes. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Shot on a pocketable Sony RX100 Mark IV and edited my usual film color response curves and grain. Good stuff, man. Yeah, good stuff. How did you find it then? Because you're using this pocketable Sony camera. If you're still here, Vlad, the data, right, with the kind of color response curves stuff that you're doing, because you're not. I mean, forgive me, I could be wrong, but you're not going in there with this, 14 stops of latitude file. You're going in there with a pocket digital camera that may struggle at the top and bottom end, and your curves are working well on it. Yeah, I take it. But yeah, great shot, really strong in terms of the beautiful diagonal going through the frame, beautiful lead in with the color, right? It's all kind of knocked back here. Vlad hasn't brightened it up here, so that we're kind of being distracted by anything here, being brought into this beautiful color, real strong, vibrant silhouettes. There's no kind of hesitation about any of the tone there. Really, really good, man. Really, really good. Yeah. Love this angle. Really cool. Yeah. Beautiful. Heading towards black and white. It's got to be close, in. You got to be close, man. I need you guys to keep me on the straight and narrow, right? Whew, I'll be shooting mirrorless next. Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Yeah. But you're not wrong though, Sin. Some of those shots, man, did look fancy. Let's have a look. Some of them did look kind of cool. It's definitely the data there. Yeah. I mean, obviously I would never do that, but I'm just saying, So that says, yeah, the data from is amazing. Yeah, really, I'm going to the D11 stock. Okay, so it is good then. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you didn't find it struggled at all then? Yeah. Direct range is kind of limited, but my preset worked well on it. Okay, but the advantage of the pocket camera is that you want to take it with you everywhere. Exactly, man. That's the point, right? There's no point in lugging around DSLR, or I know you mirrorless shooters will say, or mirrorless is lighter. It's odd that your lenses are heavier, but yeah, like you don't want to be, if you're just not going to take it out of the bag, then there's no point. So definitely using something like this. Those of you who use TikTok, have you seen these digital cameras coming back? These pocket digital cameras coming back. Costs of them going up. They are becoming more and more popular. It's kind of crazy, man. Kind of crazy. Yeah, you got new people today, like young people today, who genuinely see that as the vintage style, right? So it's gone, like it's not even film anymore. It's just like that's kind of too old. Like the original pocket, like Sure shots and that sort of stuff from probably like the 2000s, and now becoming really, really popular with the young generation. It's kind of wild, Not using their phones, which is nuts. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Peter, he's onto something. He's onto something. I just need to get the Hasselblad now, and I'm good to go. Yeah, not on Sony like lenses, like cameras. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Speaking of mirrors, I'm going to sell. Oh, you selling it, Vlad? The A7 III and get the AZ, which is a more compact camera. Really, Vlad? Okay. Yeah. Kodak are doing a 30 quid. They never are. No way, man. What? Interesting. I'm NDA'd. I can't speak about something that I'm looking at the moment, but this is interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. And I sounded like such a corpo snob when I said that. I apologize. Okay. Video as well. That's nuts, Terry. I have not seen these. 30 quid. We got to get one, man. We got to get one. Yeah. I got to get one. How bad can it be? It needs to be really bad, right? That's what we want. We want that. We want that image breakup. it does not give you film borders. That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. Yeah. You want to be less phone dependent. Yes, yeah. Yes, you've heard of it as well, right? I recently bought a new one, brought me memories. Nice. You got, okay. A compact camera that I shot the photo on and doubled in price since I got it. What? Is that right, Vlad? Which one did you get? Which one have you got? What did you say? It was that's a silly toy, whatever you Welcome to being old, Vlad. Welcome. Yeah, video 1080p sensor is cool, Rich. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie. I want one. That is hilarious. They must have 97. Yeah. So 7 styles in total. Wait, is it just random? Is it a blind box as well, so you don't know what color you're getting, or what? They're not doing the blind box as well, are they? Oh my god. Ooh, yeah. Nice. Yeah. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Look, 30 quid, right? What could go wrong? Basically webcam quality. Yeah. Mystery box style, so no choosing. So it is mystery, which is fun. Is it really, Terry? Is it really? It's just, when I was in Hong Kong, man, I got suckered in by so many of those blind boxes, and I never got the one I wanted. Yeah, I mean, it works. But to be fair, like they're all. You'd be happy with any of them. Blind box. There's no way. Oh god, I could live without that one. Blue one's pretty cool. Red one's definitely a keeper. That one, I mean, come on. Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. RX 100 MK4 released 10 years ago. It's nuts, Vlad. Yeah, honestly. Like I said, I can't talk too much about it, but yeah, I was having a meeting, and some of the figures that I was being presented with this idea was like insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah. I got it here. I can't show it to you though. Yeah. I got a compact camera here somewhere. Maybe it's worth digging out. It is 100%. I know. I've got an old Olympus one, which I took climbing. That thing has gone up umpteen mountains and survived all sorts, like being frozen to death, encased in ice. That thing was wild, man. Yeah, it was like you turn it off and it would, like, the lens would go in and a little door would close behind it. Quality, man. Quality. Yeah. A camera is worth looking at. Yeah, Jake, you should do a photo shoot using that little camera. So yeah, it's interesting. I've tried playing with this one here, and it's like you can't work out whether it's been designed to be. It's weird working with something that's way worse than an iPhone. It's bizarre. Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah. You ignore the blind box right there in the title. Is it? Oh, it is at the end there. Yeah. Translucent is the one I want most. Going to pre-order one regardless. Oh, they're not out yet. They're not out. Pre-order. You're right. When does it come in stock? These are gonna go. I suppose they're just checking. I suppose they're checking for whatever it's called, interest. When does it come out? No. Oh no. 5 days ago. Boom. 1 month ago launched. Oh, soon then. Oh, so it has been. It was just sold out. It's like around mid to late November. Terry, mate, you better get on that shit, mate. You better get on that. That's gone, mate. You're talking 2026, easy. It's gone. Yeah. That's crazy, Vlad. I'm gonna have a look at that later on. That's interesting. Yeah, I had no idea this phenomenon was happening. He says, "Is he at the basket?" Right. Let's get back to. Come on. We gotta we're gonna crack on. Made it through one image. Terry's image up next. Let's have a look. Big top down light, reverse mounted in a softbox. Add purple and green gelled light each side. I've forgotten we're on slave and firing, but luckily face the other way. Okay, let me just read that again. Big top down light, reverse mounted in softbox. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Okay, so no hotspot, like it. Good thinking. Had a purple green gelled light each side. Take your word for it. I've forgotten we were on slave and firing, but luckily face the other way. Okay, no impact. Yeah, right. Felt like it was subtle upper class Helicon vibes. I mean, I kind of like the grade you've gone for, Terry, and I also like the fact that you've kind of kept just slight imperfections in the background. This actually feels really kind of legit, especially with the tights being, stockings being kind of messed up as well. This is a cool shot. Yeah, I like it. Like the color grade is really good with the blue and the red. You've really dialed that in. Yeah, I like it a lot. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah. The reds are in the same line as well. Yeah, blues here looking good. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Yeah, and he did well to resist the temptation to kind of clean up the background. Yeah, good stuff. I like it. Yeah. Nice. Was there any more? Did you have a bunch, or was it just that one that kind of stood out as a winner? As Paul says, last minute one for me here. This was a bit of a cut. It is. Yeah, Rotolite Neo 3. Is it? That's the Neo 3. Has that much punch. Okay. Interesting. Spoken front. Just trying a bit creative next time. I want to try and roll a paper using split diopter lens again. Okay. This is cool, man. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I like the... I can see you've really pushed the grade on here. I can see the kind of edges of the eyebrows and stuff that is struggling, but like it works for sure. I think you got a lot going on here, and I'm kind of impressed that Neo is actually making beams like that from those. I suppose like those holes are the hard light, but I'm really impressed to see it. Yeah, this is cool. And I think the colors that you went for, obviously the warm skin tone, the cardboard with the teal, good stuff, man. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. I've not jumped on the split diopter bandwagon. I see a lot of people playing with them. We had a couple of guys at the workshop playing with them actually. We're getting some interesting stuff, but yeah, Lens Baby for me. Yeah, definitely. Lens Baby Edge still going to be a winner for me. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Chipped. Thank you, Chip Nails 2, which I kept. Now we got into the flow and we got about 30. This is about 10. Nice. Okay. Yeah. No, they're good, Terry. Yeah, really nice. Yeah. And again, I think the color grade and everything just really sells that as kind of being that of a time period type image. Yeah, very cool. Yeah. Nico, mate, how you doing? Beauty Dish is a key light. 2 strokes behind is a hair light. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Blue continuous light on the background. Darker blue fill. Shutter speed. Okay, 0.8 of a second. So almost a second. Nice, good. Again, colors are working here, right? Getting the analogous colors with the blues and the purples in there. We can see Beauty Dish is a key light. We can see the little diffusion dot there, which is but like not a problem at all. I really like the highlight. Looks very cool, very sci-fi, and yeah, the motion, really good. Yeah. And Beauty Dish is a key. 2 strokes behind is hairlight. Okay, so I can see one catching the face here. I will take your word for it that there's another hairlight back there. Yeah. But either way, effect. Very cool. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. The blue continuous light was an LED, I take it, right? Yeah. Trick question for you. This was shot in a local food court with a cool multicolored floor and lots of bright colored store vendor signs. Yeah, okay, yeah. I had a friend holding RGB LED bicolor mode. Which color do I choose for the LED light? So what was... Podcast Orbital Lights had a friend holding the RGB in the white color. So I wonder where they're holding that. Is that on the face there? Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on what you want to do. I think, you know, one of the reasons I like the LEDs so much is being able to shift that Kelvin, right? So if you wanted to warm it up on the face to match the colors here, you could do. Sometimes I like to have that contrast where if everything else behind is warm and then you pop the kind of the cooler Kelvin light on the face, that can help to pop the face out. So that may have been where I would go for this, because it's obviously a portrait, right? This is not candid. You're not trying to bed them into an environment. You know, you are taking a portrait. So I would maybe cool it down a little bit, and just that will just help to have the face come out a little bit more than it is. Yeah, I still think you could afford to darken this down a little bit, but yeah, otherwise a lot going on here, Tony. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Managed to maintain quite a lot of detail in all these lights though, which is cool. Yeah, no worries, Jamie, mate. All good. One from Trevor here. Let's have a look. So Trevor says 58mm on 24-70. 58mm, man, after my own heart. Excellent choice, Trevor. I love that. Part of my Halloween shoot, red gel on background. Was the background red, Trevor, or was it a white background that you made red? Red gel on background, red gel on models right, no gel on her left. Yeah. Okay. So Trevor showed one of these images, which was like zoomed out further, I think. Where was it? Here, yeah, last week, which is kind of cool. I think the zoomed out shot gives a little bit more context here. I think I definitely prefer these ones over these ones, but still clean though. Yeah, very, very clean. Yeah, white background and red. So it was white. Okay, nice. Okay, so yeah, you've done a good job of that. If that's a white background, because sometimes it can be tricky to not get tons of hot spotting and that sort of stuff. But yeah, good, man. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, and this is another thing as well. We were just talking about Kelvins on the key light, and I'm not sure what Kelvin you had on this or what it was, or whether you just went with the Kelvin in the camera or whatever. But we can see that this is definitely a warmer key light than like a stark, 5,500, 6,000 Kelvin. This definitely feels slightly warmer, which matches the environment of the shot. So that's kind of what I mean about I'm always adjusting the Kelvin on the key lights now, to kind of bed it into the shot, depending on what you need. And that's kind of what Tony was asking a minute ago. It's like, what should I go for? Yeah. Don't do it to me, Sin. I know it was in here. Sin shared a shot. Sin shared a shot. Yeah, but he also there's obviously a malfunction. Yeah. I mean, you can't I can't deny that one looks better than the color one. Definitely works well with the shape that you've got there, mate. To be fair, yeah. I like the way you've darkened up the bottom half of the frame as well. Yeah, because these little legs sticking out here doesn't work. Yeah, I definitely prefer that other one. Yeah, good stuff. Yep. Gonna have to delete this VOD now. It's unfortunate. Danny, Halloween portrait, 6 lights, 2 Neo 3s, 2 newer ones, diagonal, front, back. Okay. So this is Danny's background as well. Loving his homemade background, which is looking cool. Yeah, 2 newer ones, Titan X1 on the hair. Okay. Yeah, AOS 2 Pro, right side face body. Okay. Good stuff, man. Look, we've got tons of data in here, right? By the looks of it, looks like you've brought up. It's looking a bit HDR-y down here in some of the shadows here, but I think you definitely get away with it. We've got a couple of shadows from some of the lights on set as well. Something to be mindful of. Either try and fix it on the day, or just buzz them out in post, right? So we just got this shadow of a AOS and stick here, and then I think that's her shadow there, maybe. But yeah. Otherwise, face is well lit, right? That's the brightest point, and we are drawn straight into the face for this shot, which is good, right? That's what we want. We want that. We want the brightest part to really to be the face. That's what draws our attention to. So yeah, good stuff. And that backdrop is looking cool, man. Yeah. Yeah. Edgar flexing here. Look at this. Photoshoot shot on Sony A7R4 with Zeiss 85 lens, 4 Godox AD400s. Nice. With color gels. Old school. Rocking color gels. Like it. 1 for the background, 2 on the sides, and 1 key light on the model. Yep. So we got 4 Godox. 1 on the background, which I presume is the yellow behind her there. 2 on the sides, which we got the reds coming in there. Yep. And 1 light on the model, which I presume is the blue, right? I'd love to get some feedback on that, check what I need to improve. So, look, this is excellent, man. Really good. And using 4 lights in small space or whatever and on the body and that sort of thing is tough. But, yeah, we've got a lot of overlap here with some of these lights. And I think you'll know this from looking at the raw, Edgar. But, yeah, you'll know that we have a lot of overlap with these lights. And this is where we see, some of this banding and color breakup here. I think we like to blame Facebook and that sort of thing, but this is what happens when multiple lights sit on top of one another. We were kind of going over this in the Color 2.0 workshop and using techniques to kind of keep them separated like this. And yeah, it's just it is several techniques that you can use to do that, but keeping those colors separate is what's going to give you stronger, richer colors. And we can see here that you probably use the red gels, and as a result, it's going purpley pink here because we know I've spoken about it before on the website, but we know from our cheat sheet here that the reds and the blues are going to create that magenta color, right? Which is what we're starting to see happening here. There's more magenta because the reds are kind of bleeding onto the blues. Now, I could be wrong, and we are using magenta gels, so fine. But the point still stands about the colors overlapping. We want to try and keep them a little bit more separated than that, and that'll give us a cleaner, richer color. Yeah. But otherwise, excellent. I actually don't mind the color falling onto the background here. Kind of a cool effect, right? This kind of vanilla sky type style. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Oh, Trevor is in here. White background that I turned red. Oh, no, you're up here, right? Yep. Adjusted the white balance in post warm. Yeah, exactly. I think that's absolutely the right shout, mate. 100% the right shout. Because I think if it gets too cold and stark, it just doesn't feel part of the story that you're trying to tell with this particular outfit and shot and that sort of thing. So I think that was absolutely the right play. Yeah. Hey, no worries, Ed, man. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, very very cool shot though. Yeah, very cool shot. One from Kevin here. Halloween might be over, but the editing goes on. Yeah, nice. Oh, this is in a car park or something like that. Okay, interesting. Okay, yeah. Industrial geometric shapes, cold steel, and that sort of stuff works well. Yeah, I think you've done well with the grade here as well. Locked everything in. Yeah. I think one thing in post as well, you can kind of knock the background back on these so it's not quite as bright compared to the subject in the foreground. But yeah, just something to think about. But yeah, cool shot for sure. I don't know whether you're using extra lighting in here. It could just be ambient light. We've got a little bit of light on this side, but if it's ambient light, you've done well to keep his face exposed here, which is nice. Good stuff. We got Jochen. Apologise. Yeah, long time lurker, first time poster. Welcome, mate. Yeah, first time shooting with a model, first time using gels. Okay. Small studio space, 2 potato strobes, blue gelled centre. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Red one hard on the left, shot with potato 28mm, 2.8 Minolta lens. Nice. And the JPEG straight from camera, shot on JPEG raw, obviously. Okay. The stuff I really, really like about the picture and stuff I don't. More on stream if I don't miss it. Okay. Yeah, so look, I think this is a great place to start with gels, is like 2 gels and then having it kind of very, very clearly separated on the model, and you're kind of using the model and synergy between pose and light to kind of get this effect. So you've got the blue very strong on this side, the red very strong on that side, and then you're trying trying to keep them separate. But we just spoke about a minute ago about what happens when these two colors mix, right? Whoa, God, that was a shock, wasn't it? Jesus, see that again. So yeah, so this is where like we have our kind of ready colors, you know, over here, right, and we have our bluey colors over here, but where they mix, right, that's where we get that purpley color, which I just spoke about from my website. So look, this is absolutely fine, and you can kind of get away with it with red and blue. It's just like certain colors, if you do this, you're gonna, you know, they're gonna kind of neutralize one another. So we kind of need to be careful on that front. So yeah, so we can see here we've got these different colors. So like if you're using red and cyan, you're kind of, they'll neutralize, and it kind of goes this ugly grayish color on the skin. So for red and the blues, as we know, we're going the purples, which is what I've just shown you on the skin there in Photoshop. So it's absolutely fine. I just as long as you're aware that it's going to happen, right? So this is why I try and do my best. You can see it happening here, and it will happen with the poses, where it's, you know, it's mixing on both lights and that sort of stuff. But yeah, thinking about where the pose is in relation to the light. So had we kind of had her turned maybe even more to the red, so it's just super clean red on this side, and then keeping the blue on this side, kind of you using the face to kind of keep those lights separate, and that helped to clean up the colors that you have here. But otherwise, I think in terms of what you're doing with the kit that you have, right, in trying to make it work, like again, we've all been there with potato strobes and crappy you know, lenses and that sort of stuff. But it's not really the kit. You know, most of it is technique at the end of the day, and then the kit just makes your life a little bit easier. But yeah, I think this is your first time using gel. This is absolutely excellent, man. Yeah, well done, and thank you for sharing an image in here. Yeah, really appreciate it. We've got Lizzie at the bottom here. Lizzie can't make it. It's Christmas season, so it'll be live in the stream today. But here's what I have. Lizzie, you better not be shooting that. You better not. That better not with a shoot-through umbrella. Shoot through. Using the stream. Well, nice. Yeah. So I only don't like the shoot-through umbrellas just because it's uncontrolled light bouncing around the room. That's all. But yeah. But good stuff, Lizzie. Sorry you couldn't make it. Hopefully catch you in the next one, or you're probably watching the VOD. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah, if anybody wants to, I'll just send you to the. You can grab the cheat sheet there if you're interested. Okay, so let's have a look. Where are we going with that? Is this you? Oh, nice. Yeah, that is you. Yeah, cool, perfect. Yeah, what I like about the picture is the movement. Exactly. Yeah, poses are great. Exactly, get energy in the pose. Yeah, pretty early in the shoot, we're testing stuff out. Shoot opera singer and the instructions for posing. Okay, yeah, but look, I think the pose is great, especially getting the arms up. You got this beautiful shape, right? You guys know I'm always talking about these triangles and like flowing lines. Pose is great. Yeah. What I don't like of the picture is the pinkish zebra pattern on her arms. Yeah, so hopefully that's kind of explained that. That's why that's happening, but that's also due to the movement. Yeah, actually, yeah, no worries. Yeah. It's just because those two lights are mixing. But yeah, that's kind of looks a little bit messy, right? But yeah, it is gonna be tricky. Yeah, you have this cool pose, and then it's not really working with the light. So yeah, it can be a pain with those colored lights for sure. Yeah. So just real quick, I just wanted to pull up some images from last week from Sterling. It had some real cool shots. I just wanted to kind of open them up here, just because obviously it's supposed to be a stream last week, but it wasn't. Pretty sure. Did he give me a link in here? Or I could have sworn there was a Dropbox link here or something, but I'm just being blind. Maybe did he reboot the Dropbox link? Can't see it. I'm sure he put a Dropbox link in there, but if not, I'll have to grab it next time. That's my bad. I thought there was a Dropbox link in here. Otherwise, I will open it up. But you had some really cool, interesting shots, interesting setup. I cannot see the link there anymore unless he's removed it, maybe. But yeah. These were the shots he was kind of doing. So this is he found this area on top of his building, I think, and this is at night with a shoe. I will try and grab it next time, Sterling, but I could have sworn the link was in there. Yeah. I should have one more look just to make sure, but otherwise, there it is, the bottom there. Nice. So yeah, so we found this kind of this was a found location, which I was like, are you kidding me? That's nuts. Yeah. Let me just make this smaller. Yeah, very so he's got a, I'm sure he has, yeah, look. It's nuts, man, on top of a building. I was like, how is that not a set? It looks so much like a set. It's crazy. And he's just, yeah, so he found this place, yeah, and took a bunch of shots and really capitalized on it, man. This is like, these are great, man. These are awesome. Really cool. So he's got these pipes here. He's got a bunch of lights coming through. Yeah, very super impressive shots, man. Yeah. It's cool. Even got 2 models in here as well now. Yeah, you did a really good job with this, man. Yeah, really good job. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's like a fashion type shoot. I think he said that he just got the models to bring some clothes, and I think the guy was like, "Can I bring along the girls?" Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Rooftop edit. I think it's just more of them. Yeah. I kind of wanted to see if there was any shots of it without the coloured light. I was just kind of curious as to what it looked like. I'm sure there was some here somewhere, but yeah, I can't seem to find them now. But yeah, really cool, man. So yeah, thank you for sharing these, and yeah, a lot of these look excellent. Yeah, good job with the colours. Yeah, I can't believe you like climbed down into this thing. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. If anybody's interested, he did put the link in the chat. So if anybody's or he did put the link in Facebook. If anybody's interested, then you can certainly take a look. If any of you are crazy cats haven't decided on a sign up to Jake's Color, which yeah, I jumped in and did it. It learned a lot. Really enjoyed it. I think he's So I don't think he's saying I didn't learn a lot. I think he's saying he did learn a lot. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, mate. And yeah, we had a good time. Yeah, so we did one on Saturday. Chris was there. Yeah, it was good, man. Yeah, we got a ton of cool shots. I actually need to have a look through and see if there's anything that stands out. But I certainly appreciate that. Yeah, no worries, Jamie, mate. Catch you again. Yeah, check out these shots. Awesome location, man. Yeah, like I mean, if you came across that, it'd be like finding yeah, I don't know. It'd be like finding gold on the street. It's just like, wow, that's nuts. Yeah, such a great spot. Yeah, very cool. All right, then. Thank you, Sterling, for sharing those. Super cool. Thank you, everybody that shared an image tonight. I think that's everybody's image. A lot of great shots there in the end, guys. Really good. Just have a quick refresh because there's anybody that skipped at the end there, but really good. Beautiful shots, beautiful colors, good edits as well. Nice strong edits. Good color toning from people apart from Sin, and yeah. Good stuff, guys. Yeah, pleasure. So, a couple of weeks, we'll try and do it again, I think. I got got campaign shoot for Pro Photo in a couple of weeks, so we'll see. I don't know whether we're going to have a stream before that or after. And then we'll have the Christmas special coming up as well in December, so that'll be Would You Rather. Again, if anybody's got any great examples of would you rather questions for photographers, then let me know, because I need to come up with another 20. Probably be the same 15 again and five new ones, but free Lightroom presets for everybody who attends. So why not? But yeah, I think that's it, guys. And yeah, thanks for everybody who tuned in. Let's do it again and enjoy your free Affinity software. All right then, guys, take it easy. Make sure you click the bell or whatever it is that you do, and yeah, I'll catch you next time. Take it easy, guys. Bye.